How you doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, Doge has got to be my favorite government agency at this point. They are destroying Washington, D.C., and I love to see it. I love to see it. This is the best thing that I've seen in a very long time. We'll talk about Doge a little bit more a little bit later. Shout out to Big Balls. Shout out to all the guys over there making it happen. Also, Frontier Airlines strikes yet again. Y'all heard my story about the dope fiend that had to get Narcaned. Now you got a guy on the plane trying to kick the window out and depressurize the cabin. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we had Transformer illegal aliens acting a complete fool and having to get deported. Some people are sympathetic. Oh, well, they paid debt to society. Paid debt to society? They got convicted of murder and they're here illegally. Like, do you go to jail? Do you go to prison for killing somebody and then upon release you get rewarded with citizenship? I think not. You got guys in the military that have served that can't even get citizenship. How do you get citizenship after you kill somebody and you are probably a violent gang member here illegally? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the Obama White House being accused of racism from a former black staffer. We'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the very best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Oh, we got a lot to discuss tonight. There is a whole lot going on. There's a lot happening. I love it. The main thing that I like about what's been happening is Doge exposing all the corruption. Like, now we're really getting into the deep state part of it, you know, and I think it might, again, blessing in disguise. We had this little 4-year period. So we had 4 years of us in there. We got the ball rolling. Then they come back in and we can really just examine. We can see where the problems are more than we could before. Now we can get straight to the problem immediately and get rid of it from right there. Doge has uncovered some of the most ridiculous things that we're spending money on. We're giving taxpayer money to George Soros. We're giving taxpayer money to this company called NewsGuard that basically works to censor and downrank conservative outlets. There are so many ways that our money is being spent that it's ridiculous. And I'm glad that they shut the whole thing down. Take the letters off of the top of the building. Get the employees out of there, get the actual place up out of there, get all that out of there. ABL, where would the 10,000 plus employees work? Hey, man, what did they say when they shut the coal mines down? That they need, by the way, because they got to power their plants to be able to put electricity into their Tesla vehicles, which is funny because the guy that makes the Teslas that we need to reopen the coal mines is also the guy in charge of firing those who need to learn how to do something else, like learn the code, which is what they told us when they shut the coal mines down. But anyway, since they told us learn the code when they shut coal mines down, when they shut companies down, when they destroyed businesses, they can learn how to do something else as well. They can learn, man. You know what? It's 2025. Your job is not necessarily guaranteed unless you have a skill of some sort that you can transfer. If your skill is working for some non-governmental organization, NGO for short, if your skill is working for an NGO, counting hairs on the legs of fire ants, that might not be a transferable skill. You might want to learn something else, okay? I'm not really sure how many job openings there are for ant frog hair counters on LinkedIn, Indeed, or wherever you look for your jobs, okay? I'm not sure it's going to be posted on the website. Hey, help wanted, ant leg hair counter for $250,000 a year plus benefits. I don't think that job exists. So You got to go out there and find real employment. And what I say, when I say real employment, real job, I mean an actual thing that you do that people really want, whatever that is. Okay. So if you have, like, let's say if you're me, you're an online person, you create content people want to see, that's a real job because people actually want to watch me. Okay. If you are working in the skilled trades, if you are a pipe fitter, welder, whatever you're doing, people need you to come fix their air conditioning. People need pipes welded. People need infrastructure. They're going to pay you for that. That's a real job. If you're working in the office and you work for a corporation, and if your labor helps the corporation go forward and make money, that's a real job. If you work in the government and your job is to count the number of feathers on newborn chickens if they were given this particular supplement that could make them transgender, I don't count that as a real job. What you're doing is siphoning monies from the taxpayer to do nothing. A lot of federal employees know what they'll say. They'll say, I get paid to do nothing. I'm basically robbing the taxpayer blind. A lot of your remote federal employees, what are they going to do? They're going to have other little side hustles on the side. Okay, they'll barely be working. They're in the meeting, moving the mouse around. That ain't real work. That's not real work. And now that's coming to an end. You do have important employees in the federal government, those who are essential, those who actually do things that make this country run. There are others who are just taking money from the taxpayer. And you know what? I wouldn't even really be mad if it was a private company. Okay, if there's a private company that somehow makes money from you counting the legs of an ant and the hairs on the legs of the ant, if there was a private company that really did that, hey man, I have no problem. Maybe there's an audience for that particular service. But there's so many fake jobs, non-existent jobs, irrelevant jobs in government that we got to just say, you know what, it's time for it to come to an end. And you know, one of the biggest industries there's quite a few things that have been created from our taxpayer dollars, quite a few non-industries that we have created. The homeless industrial complex, that's a real industry. People get paid from it, but they don't really do anything other than enrich themselves. I mean, they do some things, but their purpose is not going to be fulfilled by the practice. Let me explain. So if you got a bunch of homeless people in California and there's some non-governmental organization that gets paid from local and gets paid from federal to do things like 3 hots in the cot, free needles, free this, that, and the third, who does that help? Really? It doesn't help the problem of homelessness. Maybe it helps that one dope fiend to smoke his crack and shoot his fentanyl in peace. But that's called enabling. If you have an addict and you give them all the tools to remain an addict, that's called enabling. You're not helping the situation, you're harming the situation. You're not only harming that person and their development to sobriety, you're also hurting the entire issue of homelessness. People travel from all over the world. Listen, people travel from all over the world to be homeless and smoke crack in California. Yes, they do. So you're never going to get rid of the problem as long as you keep funding the problem. If you keep subsidizing the issue, you're going to get more of that same issue. And there's millions and billions of dollars poured into industries like this. Okay, so you got a lot of people. I forget who that was, that actor, the guy that played Mark Zuckerberg in The Social Network, that guy, the Eisenberg, whatever his name is. This guy got on TV and said, well, the politicians, they should do more to help people. Like my wife is great. She works for a non-governmental. Exactly. Your wife is doing exactly what I'm talking about, working for these agencies. All they do, their whole purpose is to just get money from the federal government. That's it. It's a hustle. It's a grift. I don't consider hustles and grifts that take advantage of the taxpayer and our naivete. I don't consider those things to be real jobs. So Doge, I love you guys. You guys are doing an amazing job. These young dudes, super smart. Hey, some of these guys, they may say, oh, they got autism. And can I say something about autism right quick? People sometimes, not all the time, people sometimes want to use these disabilities and these diagnoses as some kind of crutch or an excuse. I saw this funny video where the guy, I can't even really describe it. I got to actually show it to you. But basically, he's talking about how people will straight up say the worst things to you, call you the N-word, all kind of stuff, and be like, well, I have autism and ADHD. That's like, okay, that's why the N-word came out, right? That's an excuse. I'm not trying to hear it. It's an excuse. It's a way to anchor yourself down into mediocrity. I just don't like it. If you are of sound mind and you're able to get things done, your disability or whatever is irrelevant. It's totally irrelevant and doesn't make a difference. But yeah, we got a lot to get through. And again, shout out to the guys over at Doge. Autism or no autism, these guys are very smart, brilliant, young dudes, 19 years old. Look, the one dude, the 19-year-old, big balls. This dude had LLCs when he was 16 to actually work and make money, managing a bunch of different domain names. I mean, these guys are super smart, brilliant. And when I talk to these young guys, they give me hope for the future. A lot of their counterparts who may not have autism are completely dumb because they don't know anything because they've been miseducated by our school system, K through 12, college, and the workforce. Okay. All they can do is speak in buzzwords from social media. They have no real identity, no real purpose, no real future. They just kind of exist because this is what we've produced this. And like I said before, we need to focus more on vocational stuff. That's kind of a dead horse topic, in my humble opinion, but it needs to be brought up. A lot of these kids can't even read books at all. They're just kind of, but the kids that Elon has working with Doge, brilliant. And we need guys like that in government. I don't care about their race. I don't care. Look, even if you got a transformer in there, can I say something about transformers right quick? Now, I don't care if one of the Doge guys identifies as a seahorse, a pregnant seahorse. Okay. Hey, you know what? My name is my name is Eli Shaw. I'm 18 years old and I identify as a seahorse with he, him pronouns. Hey, check it out. If Mr. Horsey can reduce the size of government and eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse, that's fine. You could be a seahorse in your mind. Now, I'm not going to give you a passport that says seahorse on it. Okay. I'm not going to do that, but do your job, do it well. Whatever else you got going on, that's your personal business, but do this job well. A lot of the transformers right now in the government, they're just there because of their identity and they have no skill. They're morons at best. If you ask them to do tasks, it's going to be a bunch of kickback. Well, I have ADHD. I have autism. I'm transgender. Okay, so what though? Like, are you going to work or not? Just because you have a disability or some kind of diagnosis does not excuse you from having to do the job. Hey, check it out. I have dwarfism, but I want to play in the NBA. I want to play right next to LeBron James. And if you exclude me, that means you're racist. Bro, you are 4'11". The shortest guy in the league is going to tower over you. And it's not even going to be close. And you have no basketball skills. You can't shoot a basketball. You can't shoot a pool ball. You can't shoot anything. Just sit down and do something else. Okay. Learn the code. That's what I would say. But yeah, we got a lot to get through. There's a whole lot going on, a whole lot in my mind. Seabiscuit, shout out to Seabiscuit. We got a whole lot going on, but first thing, before we get to the videos, before we get to anything, shout out to, what are we talking about? Everything. We're talking about Doge. We're talking about people that have these disabilities that don't really do anything. They use them as a crutch. They use them as a way to get entry into jobs, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. A lot of them do that. All right, well, I'm not very talented. I'm not very smart. I didn't really work very hard in K through 12 in college, but I have some kind of diagnosis. Therefore, I'll get a job that way and I'll grift that way. How dare Elon Musk and Donald Trump and everybody else require merit to be why someone gets a job, not race, not gender, not their ability status. None of that matters. Can you do this or not? If you can't, bye. If you can, let's get it. Let's work. I love to see that 100%. And this is a good use of our monies. Why do I want someone on the job that does nothing? Because this person is going to cost. Anybody who knows about business knows that payroll is usually your biggest expense. If I could cut a bunch of dead weight, I'm going to do it every single time. It is what it is. That's life. That's the way it goes. All right. So, yeah, exactly, AB. LGBTQ, element of P, X, Y, and Z. It's about that. That's who DEI sponsors more than anything. The LGBTQ, element of P, X, Y, and Z, not black people. The whole thing about black people, you know why they say black people when they're talking about DEI? Y'all know why? It's because they know that the majority of us in the community are not going to do any research, and we'll take that on face value. If they were to say that DEI is about this group or that group would look into it and be like, well, wait a minute. Well, hold on. Let's not do that. It'll be backlash. But it's about us. Other groups won't question it. They're not going to look into it. Many of us are not going to question it. We're not going to look into it. Myself and many other guys in the community got to be the ones to say it. And the craziest part is that we get pushback from the community a lot of times. I could sit there and show numbers. Hey, you know what? DEI, only about 3.8 to 4% of DEI diversity officers who are hired are black. The majority are white and female and LGBT, just like the LAFD executives. The two white lesbians, one bulldagger, one normie, and then the racially ambiguous bulldagger. That is who it helps, not people that look like me. Not me. It's not for us. It's not for us. But they'll say it's for us because that's the way they can market it and make everyone accept it. It's simple. So yeah, shout out to the LGBTs. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody that is good at what they do, regardless of what they identify as. Their gender, their race, whatever, I don't care. Are you good or not? All right. But yeah, the Woodman says, ABL, what does the plus mean in LGBTQ plus? That is a great question. Anything, everything. Basically, the plus, in my humble opinion, in LGBTQ plus means anything goes. It's whatever. Okay, you want to identify as a horse and you want to have two humans that are human, but are thinking that the horse is okay. We're going to include that. Have you seen the pride flag lately? At first, it was just a rainbow they stole from the Christians. Then they put so many different things and patterns and colors and shapes and all. They got circles, half triangles. They got all kind of stuff in the flag. They might as well just say LGBTQ means debauchery. Just you don't need to recite every letter in the alphabet. Just say debauchery, and it'll fit. It will fit. Hold on. Arnold says plus means infinity. Exactly. Infinity. 100%. Everything but heterosexual. Correct. And really, for real, they often mean that to mean everything but straight white male. Because everything is included. They got the black and brown stripes. So even if you're not a gay person, you just happen to be a so-called minority in the United States, that means you're part of the LGBTQ element of P, X, Y, and Z. And they expect for you to support them whenever anything goes down with that community. I don't know about y'all, but hey, man, listen, I'm all about supporting America and Americans. All these little special interest groups that do weird stuff, I have no connection to. Are you an American who wants the best for this country or not? And if you're not, I can't help you. If you're somebody else from a different country who wants the best for America, I can help you out that way. Anything else, I can't do nothing for it. All right. But yeah, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for being here. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoying the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. We got a lot going on. But before I get to the video, shout out to the sponsors. Y'all know how I do. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link, of course, will be in the description, or just go to patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, go to anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. You'll be able to find articles for each video that I produce. And in each article, I have sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democrat, Republican, politically agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my email address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All those links are right there on the contact page of the website. And as I always say, if you're ever wondering if it's me conversing with you on the interwebs or not, a couple of things we could look at first is the method of communication. If the email does not match my email that's on the website, which is contact@anthonyblogan.com, it's not me. If you're in the comment section of a video and somebody's talking at you, talking about, I can get you some gift cards, I can get you some money, get rich quick scheme, Bitcoin, Forex, the hot tool coin, meme coins, all that kind of stuff, it's not me. I don't promote any of that, and I most certainly wouldn't promote it that way to try and get you on the WhatsApp number that has 1,000 digits and sell you something, okay? I don't live in Lagos, Nigeria. I don't live anywhere in Eastern Europe. I don't eat borscht or fufu for a living. So use a little bit of your common sense and know that it's not me talking at you trying to get monies out of you. If you want to donate to the show, there's links right here in the actual video, on the website, everywhere else. But what you don't want to do, listen, if I'm just outside somewhere and I go to Target and I see one of y'all in Target with a bushel of Apple iTunes gift cards, first, I'm calling the authorities for your own protection. Then I'm going to tell you, hey, put those down. You're not going to do what you think you're going to do. All you're going to do right now is get robbed. I showed you the lady in France, I believe, Paris, France, somewhere, who gave this scammer 800,000 US American dollars because she thought the guy was Brad Pitt, but really it was a guy in Lagos, Nigeria. It was probably the guy and 18 of his cousins doing shifts. Okay, my friend, I got to shift today, but I need to get to tomorrow. I have to go to courts tomorrow, so please cover my shift. I cannot. You're going to find them kind of people. Hello, my love. I think your pictures are beautiful, my love. You go put it in the voice filter. It's going to sound like Brad Pitt in a 1995 movie. Okay, so look out for that. Don't get caught up like that. That's not me. All righty, but we got a whole lot going on. I want to get straight to my man right here. Straight to my man, this guy. Now, shout out to him. He might be a little bit tardy to the party as far as revelations that the Democratic Party ain't the way to be, but I say better late than never. Better late than never. As long as you're able to come to a realization, as long as you're able to get on the right track, I don't really necessarily care when or how you get there, as long as you're there, and as long as it's permanent. I don't want you to be a Johnny come lately and then a week later change your mind like Stephen A. Smith did, which was ridiculous. But you know, Stephen A. Smith, right quick, Stephen A. Smith, I never really believed. Not really. Because he said all that stuff about how great the conservatives are, how bad the Democrats are, and then still voted for Kamala Harris. And then when you ask him, hey, why'd you do that? He's light on the responses. Oh, I don't know. I just didn't like Trump. But you be on podcasts for hours at a time talking about why you do like Trump. But then when it comes to why you didn't want to vote for him, I don't know. I just don't like him. I'm just not. He's a line stepper, a toe stepper, a flip flopper at best. So yeah, shout out Stephen A. Smith. But my man right here is going to talk about why he denounces the Democratic Party. Check it out.
this fucking political party.
And I'm sorry for the cussing. I'm going to try to censor it live, which I know how these videos be. And I try to not play a lot of videos that got cussing in it like that for that reason right there.
The Democratic Party have lied to us about everything. They've lied about being the party of the middle class. They've lied about being the party of peace. They've lied about being the party of that wants to help poor people. Okay? What the last several weeks have proven to us all is that this is a cadre of criminals and losers and spoiled children of affluent parents who were more concerned about looking good than actually doing good. These are people who were more concerned about looking like they were doing something for the American people than actually doing things for the American people. And that's why I'm so angry. Because this party lied to me while stealing my tax dollars. The Democratic Party lied to us all while they brought in millions of illegal immigrants for their own political purposes for the last 4 years. 20 to 30 million illegal aliens brought in. And now we come to USAID being probably the largest money laundering operation in American history. Congratulations, Dems. You've outdone even Bernie Madoff. I'm disgusted beyond words. Disgusted with the waste of money. Disgusted with the waste, with the fraud. With the way that you people use color legitimacy, and the way you use black people as fucking mules to get us to push whatever fucking agenda you wanted to. The amount of division you used black people to sow upon the American people, you used us for that. And I will never, ever forgive this political party. The shit that I've gone through personally. Y'all were supposed to be the party of free speech, the party of women's rights. You have immolated all of those things. And then, as if enough weren't enough, you then decide that you're going to die on the hill of USAID, a government audit. You're trying to prevent a government audit because some of you really are trying to stay out of prison. We see the game now. Y'all been out here telling us that the game was rigged against certain people. Well, now we found out who the people that were rigging the game were. Congratulations. Y'all are never going to win another political race ever again. Not if I can help it.
There we go. So, hey, shout out to my man. Hey. Love to see it. I want you to keep that attitude. I want you to keep going, and we got to spread the word, really. We got to spread the word, man, because there's too many of us in the community, too many of us in this country, period, regardless of color, that just don't get it. They don't see it. And I hope and pray that the 4 years that we had under the Biden administration, compared to what we had before and what we have now, will awaken more people to see what's going on. Okay? The craziest part is how the media kept saying that Trump's a fascist. What kind of fascist is going to reduce the scope of government? Make that make sense. How are you going to be a fascist with a smaller government? How? I don't understand. Giving more power to the people makes you fascist? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. And people still say Trump's a fascist. That lets me know that they don't know what that word means. They don't know too much of anything. And that's the problem. Lack of education, like I always say. Now, this woman here voted for Kamala this past year, 2024, because remember, she ran in 2020, although she didn't appear in anybody's ballot for the president. She did run in 2020, didn't quite make it to get the nomination. She got the nomination. And you know what? Something else? People talking about how, nobody voted for Elon. First of all, he's working the job the same way that others work a job in the government and they don't get elected. But you say nobody voted for Elon, but who voted for Kamala in the primary? Did anybody vote for Kamala in the primary? Last I checked, her name was not on the ballot as a president in the primary. They're talking about we voted for her in the primary because her name was on the ballot as a vice president. That's not how that works. You don't get to select the vice president. In some states in this country, you can select the lieutenant governor, like in North Carolina. You could select them differently from the governor. It's not always an appointment from the governor on a local level as far as the governor. But on a federal level, the president selects the vice president. You have no say-so in it. You can express your opinion, but at the end of the day, you cannot vote for that person. People that voted in the primary in 2024 voted for Joe Biden, not Kamala Harris. But magically, Kamala Harris became the nominee. Make that make sense.
All right, y'all. Listen, let me be one of the first black women that was a part of the 92 or the 93% that voted for Kamala to come out and just say it. I regret voting for Kamala. I really do. I regret voting for her. Already into Trump's presidency, not even a full month, and this man has already secured borders. He's already signing bills that are taking place that are uplifting this country. Me not doing my history and really, being investigative and seeing all the things that Trump has done, and now having an eye opener and really looking at this man and seeing exactly how this man works has really put something on my heart. And I don't know what I was thinking going in there voting for Kamala in the first place. I'm glad of the results. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad that Trump is in there, but me being so lost and participating into the whole Kamala run and now taking a step back, looking at how this president here is really running things, and it hasn't even been a whole month, is something that I do think about. So, I advise people that are on the Democratic, that are in the Democratic
plantation. Say it with your whole test. To those who are on a Democratic plantation, because that's what it is. It's a plantation. And the things that the people who are in charge got to do, the black folks, the things they got to do to stay on their plantation are ridiculous, man. They might as well get whipped with a whipping called Toby.
Democratic Party, myself, to do your research. Really do your research, okay? Because I can definitely say that as a black woman, a part of the 93%, I made an error. I can admit that. I can take accountability and admit that.
There we go. So shout out to her. Hey, again, take accountability, admit when you're wrong, and do better. That's all that anybody can ask. Hey, you know what? I was wrong. That was a mistake. My bad. Let me do something else. Let me just make a better decision the next time. Now, all right, what we going to do here? And shout out to you guys again for being here. Definitely appreciate y'all. Now, Kamala went to a Lakers game and nobody really cared. She was just kind of waving at nobody. Like, it was really strange.
And they have seen this.
Nobody cares. You see Doug right there? I know Doug missing his real girlfriend. That's Joe Biden's wife. I know Doug is missing some Jill Biden. They secret lovers. That's what they were. But nobody cares, man. Like, nobody knows who Kamala is. Nobody cares. Nobody likes her. And it's really unfortunate. I said it from the beginning. Like, they set her up because she did so poorly in the primaries of 2020. It was obvious that she was not going to do well as the actual president. They set themselves up, though, because they're so incompetent. They don't understand. Okay, you were able to finagle Joe Biden to get in there, but you're so worried about getting your people in there to get power back that you did not think about the future. You're worried about right now. You kick the can down the road and the can came right back to you. Now you're like, what do I do with this can? Now you got to do something with it. Now you got to use it. You kick the can down the road and you can't kick it anymore. You put her in there as a vice president and try and win the election. You quote unquote won. But now you got a runner because Joe can't continue. Joe was looking 1,000 years old in 2018. So in 2024, he's going to not get any younger. He's going to deteriorate. So you had to have somebody in there as a vice president that could take over and be competent. Go out there and speak to the media and not give these rocket scientists answers like this. Check it out.
As we think about the future, we must, as a society, as a country, invest in adaptation and resilience. And we have to understand these extreme weather occurrences are extreme, but they are increasingly less rare.
See what I'm saying? It's like, that is what I'm talking about. And this was recently, okay? This was kind of recently, because the lower third says Harris didn't confirm future political plans. So this is the wildfire times. This is like this year. And you can see what she's saying. If anybody, you guys heard what she said, right? You guys heard the video. Can you tell me what she was saying? I doubt it. And imagine going to a podium, having a press conference, and you talk like that as a president. It's no bueno. A bunch of question marks. Yeah, hey, Carolyn, your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. All right. And I did see the earthquake in the Caribbean, and it said that it is a tsunami warning potentially, but I don't see anything happening as a result of that yet. And the reason why I said that, I see the comment, it's a 7.6. So there was a tsunami in the Caribbean, but I don't think there's been any kind of damage or anything like that quite yet. And then the interview came out. So let me explain what happened here. And if I'm wrong, y'all correct me. So Trump sued CBS for, I believe, $10 billion with the B dollars. Let me see if I can find that article right quick. So Trump's funny. So Trump amended the lawsuit that was originally for $10 billion. Now he wants 20. But regardless, so look, here's the thing. And shout out to the big ad, takes up half of the screen. It says Paramount may reportedly settle Trump's $10 billion lawsuit against CBS, so his administration doesn't try to block its planned merger with Skydance. Okay, so he might end up having to pay, they might end up having to pay him that money, and he sued because of the whole Kamala thing. So look, Donald Trump sued CBS. Let's zoom in. Donald Trump sued CBS for its 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris days before his election day victory. Now, CBS's parent company, Paramount, is in talks to settle, according to the New York Times. If it does settle, that would make it the third mega media company to do so in a matter of months. So, hey, this right here is good fighting back. The mainstream media sucks. They put out a bunch of false, inflammatory, damaging content. Okay, you want to do that? You want to put out lies? You want to put slanderous, libelous things out there? All right, well, check it out. I'm going to sue and I'm going to win. And I'm going to send a message. Like the Joker, it's not about the money. It's about sending the message. I'll take the money and burn it in front of you. The message is that you guys are fake. You guys lie. And you guys put on Hollywood productions. That's what you do. And if it was Trump, they would do no such thing. If Trump was on there talking crazy, stammering and stuttering and going off the beaten path and meandering into nonsensical answers, they would play all of that. And then the media, including CBS, would report on how bad he sounded. That's what they would do. They've done it before. But for Kamala, they allow her to get edits and all types of stuff. Let's check out some of this from the newly released footage. And by the way, the footage got released because of the lawsuit. So shout out to Trump yet again.
We got our hands on the raw footage of Kamala Harris's 60 Minutes interview. Last October, in the heat of the election, Harris, Hail Mary with CBS. But the network was caught deceptively editing this answer. Watch.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Now, look, you heard that question and answer. They released both of these answers to the same question from Mr. Bill Whitaker on the internet. So CBS 60 Minutes gave us the proof that this interview was edited so heavily that her answers were completely different depending upon which clip you looked at.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening. The Wall Street Journal said that that your administration has repeatedly been blindsided by Netanyahu. And in fact, he has rebuffed just about all of your administration's entreaties.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region. And we're not going to stop doing that. We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
And to be totally honest, both of the answers were kind of word salad. It wasn't really that much better. But, you know, when it's a phrase that I used back when I was doing graphic design early, and it's a phrase that everybody uses in a lot of different industries. GIGO, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage out. If you're giving me nothing to work with, what can I actually do to make nothing look like something? Not a lot. Garbage in, garbage out. If you give me garbage to edit, I'll probably give you garbage edited.
Trump sued CBS for $10 billion, and it looks like they might settle. But before that happens, the FCC released the full interview, unedited, and we have the tape. They talked for an hour and left a lot out. Here's an answer that never made air. Watch.
I'm trying to understand how it is that with this emphasis on the border, the numbers of crossings quadrupled under the first 3 years of the Biden-Harris administration. How did that happen?
There are a variety of factors that relate to what we have seen globally and what we are not immune from at our own border in terms of what we have seen in terms of surge of immigration and irregular migration. And there are solutions at hand, but we've got to have leaders who are solution-oriented, which we've been and are.
Making no sense. And something else happened right there. Her voice was cracking, and that happened quite a bit throughout the campaign because she'd be doing a lot of these rallies, a lot of these speeches and whatnot, and she wasn't really built for it. She's not built to be out there really working like that. It's just as simple as that. Hillary Clinton went through the same thing. But Hillary is a little bit competent, although not really. And she's older than Kamala is. So a lot of Hillary's problem was just some physical, medical stuff. We saw when Hillary froze on the curb and couldn't move a foot from the curb into the Sprinter van that pulled up. We saw that. Kamala didn't quite have that episode, but her voice would be cracking. She looked real sad and stressed out and just a mess. She looked haggard. She looked haggard on the campaign trail all the time. All the time. Now, speaking about haggard, Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, Joe Biden. Trump's no spring chicken, but Trump, although he's up there in age, is not decrepit looking like a lot of these people. So look, check it out. This is Nancy Pelosi. Now, there's no real sound that's relevant here, so I'll turn that down. But you can see her walking. What are these? Are these like canes? Like, what is this? Y'all give me the correct term for these. But I see like a lot of guys, like my homie had cerebral palsy, and he had something like that he walked with, but it wasn't quite the same. I think he had the wrist straps like parallel to the actual cane. Hers are like on the top. So yeah, she had a hip replacement, bad hips. What, like 86 years old, I believe? How old is she? Nancy Pelosi, age, she is 84. She'll be 85 in March 26. Nancy Pelosi was born March 26, 1940, and she's still in government. Walking sticks. Does she have rickets? That's crazy. On her last leg, exactly, St. Andrew. Yeah, on her last leg for real. On her last leg, on her last hip bone, on her last foot bone, all of that. It's like, come on, man. At a certain point, when you got that going on with an elderly person, just let them be at the house. And if you're up there in age, you know, at a certain point, it's like, okay, maybe the government is not for me. Just maybe. Was it no replacement for a hip, or was it just a bad hip? Mitch McConnell, another one. We see him fall all the time. Mitch McConnell falls so much, it's regular. It's not even a thing when he falls. But normally when the man that's 80-something years old falls, it's a big deal. You can die like that. But with Mitch McConnell, it's like, he fell again. He broke this, he broke that. He got a black eye on camera. He got a bandage on his face and nobody say nothing. Same thing with Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff had his face all beat up. And Trump said something. He was like, what's going on with Adam Schiff? He looks beat up right now. Who beat up Adam Schiff and Mitch McConnell and Jay Leno and everybody else? I don't know. But I digress. Now, we have a witch trying to do an anti-deportation spell. Okay. Yeah. If this is like the best you can produce, if these are the kind of people you're producing, you might have a problem. So this says anti-deportation charm for migrants. Migrants, save this video so if you are near ICE agents, you can use the charm to avoid deportation. Whites, share with your POC. And if you guys don't know, that's the Gen Z word for colored people, okay? Whites, share with your colored people buddies to protect them. Okie dokie, let's watch.
You will not be deported. You will not be deported.
You're getting very sleepy, very sleepy. What is this? Like, Alfreda Hitchcock? What's going on?
These are not the migrants you're looking for. These are not the migrants you're looking for. ICE agents explode. ICE agents explode.
Ma'am, for real, like, what am I watching right now? Ma'am, I don't think that is going to work, okay? I don't think it's going to work. Look, Mr. Lady, Sir, Migrant, get in the van. Get in the van, all right? Your little, that ain't going to work, all right? I promise it's not. Wow. Okie dokie. That's quite enough of that. So yeah, shout out to her. That's not going to work. This woman has a tick. Like, you know how you have Tourette's. Bad Santa in the closet with 18 snakes. And then he's not really saying anything. It's just like a tick. You can't help it. He'll just say anything, right? So let's see what her tick, her uncontrollable utterance, let's see what it is, shall we? It might be a little bit of cussing, so please pardon me.
It is like the perfect place to be, at least for me, because Joe Biden lives in the White House. There's vaginas hanging from the White House. Joe Biden's buried in my backyard after snorting cocaine during the Revolutionary War of 1812. God damn. It's a mouthful, literally. I have no idea where this tick came from, but I can promise you I have no idea what the president's activities are or where he's buried. And he's still alive, so that's good.
All righty. Okay. Hey, you know what? I might have to use that. I might just go in public and just, I'm going to go to some public place and just start acting a complete fool. I'm going to just say anything. I don't even know what I'm going to say. I'll be like, yo, I got a tick, man. Don't worry about it. I got a tick. Like how I try to say with Joe Biden. Joe Biden go out there and say, and then we're like, hey, he's kind of old. He's muttering, he's stuttering, he's mumbling. Oh, no, he just has a stutter. He's always had to stutter. That man got out there and said, Benjamin. That's not a stutter. That's just him not knowing what's going on. That's him being 1,000 years old and sounding like it. That's not a stutter. It's called advanced age. And it's okay. It's fine. But let's not lie about what's really going on here. All righty. So, yeah, let's keep on rocking. So somebody, we got a Karen alert. Somebody called a manager. Oh, pardon me. The manager themselves at this place called Berry Fresh called the cops over a motorhome with the Trump rap. I've not seen this, but I want to watch it with you guys.
So I just spoke to the owner of the restaurant.
Who, Mitch?
Spoke to the owner of the restaurant.
Mitch.
And we're not politically affiliated with anybody. We're trying to run a business. Right. So we would appreciate if you could move the bus off of our property and not hand out politically affiliated.
Why didn't people approach me? But right
yeah, they
there,
actually came to us.
Wait, that property is actually an easement.
Okay.
It's not your property.
Well, so here's the thing. I can ask you nicely to leave, or I can get the police involved. I'd rather not.
You can call.
I would definitely rather not, because
I'm not moving the motorhome.
Okay, I won't.
Okay.
All right. Try to be nice about it.
Right here. No, I get it, but I mean, not really, because you have one of your customers.
And that's not your property
No,
either.
I understand that, but we're a politically neutral business.
Now, do you guys believe this person is politically neutral to call the police on a van that has a Trump rap? I don't think so. If you're politically neutral and there's a van with a Trump rap, it shouldn't even bother you at all. Okay, we got a bull dagger right here that's a little bit upset about the Trump stuff. That's all. Okay, one thing about some of these LGBT leftist bull daggers, they stick together. All right, they most certainly are brothers in arms.
And
so,
you walking around.
Is that Mitch's property?
Hey, TJ said, what's her trans status? Bull dagger. That's her status. You can see it right there. The type person that try to arm wrestle with men or try to box men, stuff like that.
That right there, people.
Yes or no? Is that Mitch's property? Yes or no?
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate your
All right, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so is this sidewalk your property?
Yes.
It is the
sidewalk with the tables there.
So they own the property.
It's their property, yes. They're asking.
So now, am I being kicked out because I'm a Trump supporter? That's called discrimination. Is that legal? I'm not quite sure.
You to leave, I'm going to ask you to leave. Then I'm going to tell you to leave, and I'm going to make you leave. So let's just go with the ask.
And I would also like the bus route.
Yeah, you can't
Is that illegally possible?
I got it from here.
Okay, let's do it. Thank you very much.
Okay, so let's go stand out there in the sidewalk.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's fine. Yep, that's fine.
All right.
Make sure you're in a parking spot or whatever.
So silly. So silly, man. Like, calling the police over stuff like that, I think that's a waste of resources. Like, you got actual criminals out here, criminal aliens like the bull dagger that got convicted of murder and did 17 years in the penitentiary and is still here in the country illegally until recently. That should be the focus of law enforcement, not petty disputes. I mean, you talking about that kind of thing is like getting the cat out of a tree. I think getting the cat out of a tree is more important than interfering with some petty political dispute about a truck wrap. It's just weird. Now, speaking about the LGBTs and the bull daggers and whatnot, we got kind of I don't know what they call it, like a transgender, not really a bull dagger, but a transgender. So this person, McBride, all right, Tim McBride, I'm not quite sure what his new name is. What's a female version of Tim? Tina, I don't know what the guy's new name is. But they're having this thing called Outfit of the Day. And I want you guys to guess which one of these people is the man. We have a woman and a man in this frame. Which one is the man? For me, it's pretty simple to see, but y'all might not be able to check it out.
I'm here with Congresswoman McBride today. We're going to do an outfit of the day. I'm wearing the sweater I was wearing earlier. This is from Aritzia and then from Abercrombie. And she's going to say what she's wearing in her cute blue suit.
I'm wearing my blue Karl Lagerfeld. I also have a pink one as well, because when you get a good suit, you've got to get multiple ones of it. Mm-hmm. And then I've got my Adidas Superstars here from DSW that I wear increasingly because they're
Bro, your feet are big as LeBron James. Okay, where do you get your feet? Where do you get your you probably wear my same size shoe. Do you need a pair of shoes from me? Hey man, when I go to the Goodwill next time to give out some of my shoes and clothes, I'll keep you in mind, Mr. Lady McBride, because you got them big boats on. Good night. You're talking about a size 14 in men's. That's not very demure. That's not very cutesy.
That I wear increasingly because there's so much walking here.
So much. I clock like 20,000 steps a day here.
I like never worked out in my life, and now I feel like I work out every single day.
It's so much cardio.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. And
Look at the stances. Look, the woman, the actual young lady, has her legs, feet together, like straight like that, together. Man over here gotta have a little bit of room to breathe for the Twickenberries, right? All this relaxed, foot apart stance. Your feet are looking duck bill, big boats on your feet, bro. You're not really.
I was gonna say, what's your coffee order?
And I just released this publicly. It's very basic.
Yeah.
Regular coffee, cream-free Splenda.
Oh, amazing. And where do you get it?
Downstairs.
Perfect. I'm here.
Okay, so again, this is a U.S. state rep, a congressman, Tim McBride, who identifies as transgender. I don't know his new name. This is a U.S. House rep in your government right now. All right. Now, the U.S. House recognized this person and take a look or take a listen at what this person was called on the House floor.
The chair recognizes the gentleman from Delaware, Mr. McBride, for 5 minutes.
I love it. The gentleman from Delaware, Mr. McBride. Yes, that is correct. Because you know what? I actually respect people. I respect human beings. I respect men and I respect women. I respect both genders too much to call someone a thing that they're not. The gentleman from Delaware, Mr. McBride. One more time.
The chair recognizes the gentleman from Delaware, Mr. McBride, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. When I was elected,
And he didn't even say nothing. He just kind of took that. What you gonna say? Oh, it's ma'am. Are you gonna do one of those crash outs right there on the House floor? I think not. And the person didn't lie. The gentleman from Delaware, Mr. McBride. Your mama and your daddy named you Tim. I'm gonna call you Tim. Shout out to Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, all these guys, Muhammad Ali. But anyway, now I'm gonna play this. The person is saying that they hope everyone who voted for Trump is going to regret their decision or is currently regretting the decision. Check it out.
Hoping that everyone that voted for Trump is regretting their decision now. This was literally posted to the White House Instagram page.
Now, this is a post from their Instagram page from the White House. It says, promises made, promises kept. There is a picture of one of these big planes with men, all adult war age men for some reason, by themselves with no wife and kids. But anyway, and they're being loaded onto the actual plane. It says deportation flights have begun underneath.
Before you start to generalize these human beings as criminals, what about the 1,500 people that Donald Trump pardoned that are criminals? Some of those people have even broke the law since he pardoned them 2 days ago. Also, I keep seeing the argument on here that it was Antifa and the FBI that actually started the violence in the Capitol. Then why would Donald Trump have pardoned 1,500 Antifa people?
Okay, just because Antifa and the federales were there does not mean that's who got locked up. You see, if you knew how to read and if you had a brain, you might understand that, because Ray Epps, I mean, this guy was a ringleader. He said, let's go into the Capitol, but somehow he didn't get locked up. I wonder why. January 6th was like the biggest thing that the government had. They, not only the government, but the mainstream media harped on it for years. It's been years. They talk about it every single day. They were getting mammals, regular normies locked up. You got a guy that's on camera saying, hey, let's go into the Capitol, and he doesn't get arrested. Let's be serious. A bunch of your federal informants, your federal agents, your Antifas, your Black Lives Matter, They were not arrested. And let's not forget about what happened before January 6th in Washington, D.C. A lot of riots, countless riots. I was in D.C. late 2020, and I saw bullet holes in storefronts, boarded up storefronts because of the Antifa and Black Lives Matter violence. Have you heard about them really getting locked up? Have you heard about them getting in trouble? Whenever I say something about that, the left will say, oh, you're deflecting. Deflecting? I thought that you guys didn't like political violence. Well, there was plenty of it all throughout the nation for years and years and years. 2016 with Freddie Gray, all that kind of stuff. 2020, Black Lives Matter, Antifa. For years it's been happening, but the only thing they want to focus on is January 6th. And if January 6th was so important, again, why are your guys like Ray Epps still just walking free? And then why did the mainstream media defend Ray Epps when we said, hey, he should be locked up? Come on.
Trump also signed an executive order to stop federal funding to any organizations that offer abortion services. My mother is a social worker. I want to say this clearly so you understand. All of the places and organizations that offer abortion services also offer normal doctor visits, vaginal exams, testing.
Well, look, though, all you got to do, hey, check it out. All you got to do, if you still want to keep getting that money, just drop the abortion services and problem solve. It's easy.
So many different offers and services that people that are below the poverty line rely on. Do you believe that people that are below the poverty line shouldn't have access to their doctor's appointments? Well, Trump also wants to stop people from getting gender reassignment surgery.
So if you're below the poverty line, don't you get Medicare, Medicaid? Like, am I missing something? I don't understand.
When could the government tell us what surgeries we can get? If I want to chop off my boobs or get a boob job, it's nobody's concern.
Well, look, you're talking about minors. Can we go back a little bit?
Access to their doctor's appointments? Well, Trump also wants to stop people from getting gender reassignment surgery.
I think that's for people that are minors. So there's a lot of things that minors can't do. And I think that should be one of them. You can't drive a car. You can't smoke cigarettes. You can't drink beer. You can't buy a house. You can't do a lot of things. One of the biggest ones is you cannot consent to sex, obviously. So if you cannot consent to sex as a minor, why could you get a sex change? It doesn't make any sense now, does it? But I digress.
When could the government tell us what surgeries we can get? If I want to chop off my boobs or get a boob job, it's nobody's concern. Just like how any surgeries that anybody wants to make themselves more comfortable and confident in their body is none of his concern. So why does it matter so much to him? And if it matters to you, why does it matter so much to you?
Because we want to protect minors, because we know that minors should not be exposed to this kind of thing. Because you know what? Maybe you're 12 years old and you think that you are a girl when you're really a boy. But you know what? Maybe we shouldn't just let 12-year-olds do whatever they want to do to their own body because they're 12 and they don't really understand what they're doing. And they're going to probably regret it. Imagine a 12-year-old boy who has not hit puberty yet, who still kind of feels soft, not really secure in himself, kind of just not confident. And he thinks, okay, now I'm transgender. Here comes puberty. Your hands, your voice, your face, like you're transforming into a man, like immediately, overnight. Overnight, you're transforming into a man. You're going toward adulthood, and you feel more confident in yourself as a result after you go through that awkward phase. You feel differently about yourself at 14 than you did at 12. And 18, you have to grow up as a child to become an adult. Trying to play God and interfere is really just a bad thing to do.
He said he wanted to deport 20 million undocumented immigrants. There are only 16 million estimated to be in the United States.
Estimated, so you don't know how many's here.
Where are the additional 4 million coming from? Donald Trump is a threat to our democracy. Donald Trump wants to be a dictator. Donald Trump is a narcissist. And please, if you voted for Trump, at least admit you did something wrong. Ugh! I'm hoping...
I don't think so. I think I did everything right. Ma'am, I think I did everything right. Everything that's happening right now, I want it. All of what you mentioned that's some kind of negative to me is a 1,000% positive. A 1,000% positive. You know, I get all kind of emails. Don't you regret your decision? No, I do not. I sure don't. Hey, put it on the t-shirt. I don't regret nothing. I'm going to do it again and again and again. That's what I'm going to do. But yeah, shout out to her. All right. Now, I've not seen this one. I want to check it out about MAGA women having a specific look. And I like how they call us MAGAs. I want to ask somebody one day directly, like, what is a MAGA? How do I identify as a MAGA? Like, what's that mean? I have a brain and I know how to read. Does it make me a MAGA? Like, I don't get it.
The reason that so many MAGA...
And RIP to the headphone users. Sorry about that. Let me just start from the top.
The reason that so many MAGA women have a very specific look to them aesthetically, and the reason that you'll hear people say that Republicans, conservatives are not funny, not creative, bad at art, the reasons for those things are the same. And that is because the entire basis of modern day Christo-fascist conservatism, at least in America, is all about homogeneity, singularity. There's one correct vision that we all ascribe to, and everyone else is going to end up in hell, probably. Creativity, innovation, and artistry have always thrived on the fringes of society and in times of persecution. And before anyone comes in here saying, well, I've seen lots of photos of Jesus in museums. I think they were paintings, actually. What do you have to say about that? That was from a time when Christians were actually being persecuted, not like whatever you guys say is going on today. The reason that so many
Okay, all right. First of all, there's no photos of Jesus. I don't think the camera was around back then. I don't think that was really around back then. But beyond that, all right. So the MAGA women, and why did they say MAGA with the T on the end? Like maggot? I don't understand, because when I see that, I'm thinking about the other word that start with an F and end with an AGGOT. That's what I'm thinking about, and that's very inappropriate. So y'all talking about y'all using this anti-gay slur to refer to the Trump people or those who vote conservative, but aren't you guys really pro-gay? It's really weird. But anyway, tell me the liberal comedian that you like. I'll wait. Give me one liberal, like openly, like, okay, Trump's a racist, blah, 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 blah. Tell me one of those that you like. Wait, like Amy Schumer? Amy Schumer destroyed the Netflix rating system because her special was so bad and it was so widely downvoted, they had to hide it and change the entire thing. Tell me the funny liberal comedian, and I'm open to anybody saying something. But all the guys I know, your Joe Rogan, clearly conservative, Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams, Chris Rock, Kevin Hart. Tell me the funny liberal comedian that you enjoy. Crickets, exactly. Crickets. It's weird. It's totally weird. So yeah. And I'm not quite sure what look MAGA women have. Because if this is an anti-MAGA person, what look is this? This is just normie, NPC. So maybe we don't look like NPCs. We have personality and character, and we enjoy life, and we're not constantly triggered using these $20 words that don't mean anything. Maybe that's why you don't like what you see. Maybe that's why you have an issue with the MAGAs. All right, let's keep on going here. All right, we got some meltdowns. I've not seen these, but I want to see them.
Family, I chose women. I chose America. I love you.
Bro, if you ever see anybody recording themselves on camera crying, like Selena Gomez, okay, I showed Candace Owens doing the parody of Selena, setting the camera up, you crying all in the camera, but it's like you had to like get your lighting right. You had to make sure your hair and your makeup and all that was good to go. You had to get your camera, because some of y'all be adjusting the settings on the camera, all that good stuff to record, and then you start crying on camera. It's like, bro, come on, man.
I love all of this.
I think that might be Sean Penn. Boo-hooing on camera is unacceptable, especially as a man. Bro, please don't do this again.
All of the people who voted for him will be like happy and they'll just be celebrating. And everyone who feels threatened by him is fucking scared. Like We're scared for our lives. We're scared for our friends.
If you've lost faith in humanity, this is your villain origin story. If you've lost faith in humanity, clap your hands. You will never make me give up hope. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, no matter.
I chose family. I chose women.
Bro, sis, didn't y'all survive the first 4 years? Didn't y'all live the first 4 years of Trump? I mean, you act like you died under Trump the first time and you came back to life under Kamala. Now you're going to die again. Everything, look, man, the sun going to shine tomorrow. You'll be okay. I promise you will. You're going to be okie dokie. Don't worry about it. All righty. I got one more of these kind of people. Then I move on.
All right, guys. I'm getting ready to go to the 50 states, 50 protests today. So if any of you are in Wisconsin, head to the Capitol today. And if any of you, any states, these are happening across all 50 states today, head to your Capitol and protest. Let our voices be heard and be safe.
Ma'am, what are you doing to your hair? Like, what is this? What's happening with your hair?
So, I'm thinking maybe I might go live with it. I don't know. We'll have to see. But just stay safe if you are. And if you can't do it, at least be there and speak.
Something's wrong, man. Like, something is wrong. You're not, the elevator's not going to the top floor, man. Something's wrong. So, you know what? I think by watching those videos, we're able to see that we're on the right side of things. We're on the right side of things. Now, this video right here was hilarious. Ashley Allison. Now, I don't know Ashley personally, but I was on the panel with Ashley because shout out to my guys who Harlem initiated the podcast. Ryan, Tyshawn, shout out to y'all, man. Hopefully you watching. But Ryan and Tyshawn called me and said, hey, man, we're going to do a panel. We're going to have conservatives and liberals. Do you want to be on it? Yes, I want to be on it. I don't care who's going to be on there. Nobody can hang with me in a debate. That's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't think that right now anybody can touch me. So the panel was myself and Melanie King. Shout out to her, good YouTuber, good conservative black female YouTuber, Melanie King. It was her and I against Miss Allison and a rapper by the name of D1, a Christian rapper who supports Kamala Harris and abortion, right? Make that make sense. Now, Ashley, during our panel, could not answer direct questions. It was like, you could tell where Kamala got her not answering questions thing from, because Miss Allison worked in the Obama White House and the Biden White House, and she helped with Kamala's campaign. So she's in those circles. Now, on this CNN clip, she said that she was always the most underpaid person, even at the White House. So let me get this straight, Miss Ashley. Barack Obama underpaid you? So you're saying Obama's a racist? Is that what we're trying to say? You're trying to say Joe Biden's a racist? Why would I want to vote for a person that you call racist? I don't get it, but let's watch.
I do not have the same opportunity as you. I know I don't.
And you know
and
that
I know
too.
Let's go.
And you know that.
Let me just tell you about me.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I want to answer this.
I'm not talking about how you feel. I'm talking about how I feel. Me, a black woman in this country.
But not in this city.
And I will run. And if you want,
I'm a New Yorker, not in this city. You cannot say that. You can't say that in this city. I'm
not talking about New York. I'm talking about Ashley Allison right here. I got a law degree, a master's, and 2 bachelors. Probably more education than all of y'all added up together at this table, right? And I have always been the least paid person on payroll at every institution I have worked in. And it's not because...
Even in the White House?
Even in the White House.
Well, whose fault is that? I don't think you worked for George W. or Trump.
Well, guess what happened when I was there? DEI.
Huh? I don't understand. I don't get it.
Scott.
Look.
I do not.
So, Ashley, you got all those degrees. You work for the black man in the White House, but you're still the most underpaid. Maybe it kind of goes to what I said. People have all these accolades, and that's good. Okay, you're going to school, you're becoming educated. That's a good thing. But sometimes you're so focused on getting the education, you forget to get skills that matter at all. Basically, you're doing the same thing that I'm doing. You're doing the same thing that I'm doing. You're doing consultation, which I do. I do consultations a lot behind the scenes that don't nobody know. And I've been doing it for years. You do consultation and you go on TV. You do the same thing I do. All I have is an associate's degree. That's all I have. And before I did this, I was doing other things that required skill because I focused on skill and educating myself beyond quote unquote institutions. That should be our focus going forward, having hard skills that you can do. Because if YouTube stops today, I could still go out there and become employed with the skills that I've had over many years. Ashley, can you do that? That's my question to you. Because if you could do that, why are you always underpaid? Tell me that. Give me the answer to that question. And if you're able to answer that question, maybe you be able to fix your underpayment problem. Just maybe. Just maybe. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All righty. Now, let's take a look at Al Green, the House rep from Texas, get roasted on C-SPAN by a live caller.
Said that the protests don't have a plan. Well, the plan is here. This is the plan. Protest, complain now, impeach later.
Let's get to calls because the lines have lit up. Richard in Savannah, Georgia, Republican. You're up first, Richard.
Thank you. I watched you yesterday with the Democrat Party out protesting everything that Elon Musk is trying to do for the American people. The USAID is a 100% a money laundering scheme around the world, kickbacks back to the Democrat Party, whether it's through the Clinton Foundation in Haiti, $4.4 billion and $84 million went to her daughter, Chelsea Clinton. All y'all have is impeachments and race and gender, et cetera, and you actually do nothing for the people of America today. I think the Democrats should sit back and let America see what it's like to reduce the people in government, the wasteful spending. And all y'all can do is just complain and be negative, and we're sick of it. And also,
Richard, let's have the congressman respond.
I love it. Hey, shout out to the live caller. Hey, people are tired of the nonsense in Washington, D.C. They're tired of it. They're tired. They're sick and tired. They're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And the federalists, man, they just don't get it. They keep doubling down. It's like, stop. But you know what? Hey, I'm giving them free consultation right now. I'm consulting them for free. So I don't want to do that. Hey, federalists, White House, if you want my consultation, hey, man, hit my phone and we'll set it up. I got you. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. All righty. Now, shout out to my guy right here. I've not watched this one, but it's about a tax cut proposal. All right, let's watch.
Issue tax cuts. Trump just issued tax cut proposals to Congress for the middle class. No taxes on tips or overtime. And then he wants to close the loopholes on the billionaires that own sports teams. Further solidify that he ended up working for the American people and not all these rich people. And he just exposed USAID for all of the money that they were wasting. Democrats are never going to win again. He is completing all of his campaign promises in less than a month. I've never seen nothing like this. How are we going to get him out of office? What are we going to do? He exposed USAID and the Treasury Department. They're sending $30,000+ to different countries to make comic books. How can we explain all of this to our friends? It's like every time I feel like he's going to do something wrong, he does something right. Democrats are never going to win again if he keeps doing this. This is crazy. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Man, cry for real. That's hilarious. Hey, my man, the real tier is the perfect added touch. I love it.
We can break this down. We gotta talk about all this.
So yeah, shout out to Piper Boy Williams. That's his YouTube channel. I'm gonna give him a shout out right here. You can see it right there on the screen. Shout out to him. He got 114,000 subs. Shout out to you, boss. You doing your thing. Hey, very funny video. Very well done. Shout out to you, man. But that right there, everything you said, I agreed with. I love the sarcasm, the delivery. A+++. Loved it. Again, Piper Boy Williams. PiperBoyWilliams on the YouTubes. Alrighty. This is from Joe Rogan Podcast. I think we got Brett Weinstein on here talking. I've not watched this, but I want to see live with you guys.
I don't think the Democrats understand that it's over and that there was a vast infrastructure that made their feeble arguments viable, and that infrastructure is now collapsing. People are far more aware, and their lives aren't going to function anymore.
Well, it makes sense now that we're seeing these numbers because, okay, this was what was funding the infrastructure. Now we get it. Because it wasn't, otherwise, it's organic. This is the will of the people. This is how people are moving. It's not. It wasn't that at all. This was all organic, and it was really about control and money. It had nothing to do with helping people, making people better, giving aid to foreign countries. That's all a cloak and dagger bullshit show.
I don't think the Democrats understand that it's over.
It's over. It is over. And they're fighting. They're fighting really hard. And I told y'all they were going to fight really hard. I told y'all, like, it wasn't going to be over. It was just going to be, okay, we're in there. Life has just begun. Once they got back in office, it's like life has just begun. So now we got to get them out of here. Their little network they set up, their infrastructure, their shadow payments, their shadow government, the deep state. We're getting into the nitty gritty to get all that up out of there. All that up out of there. And again, I love it. Stephen A. Smith. Bro, you the biggest flip-flopper I ever seen in my life. You the biggest flip-flopper I ever seen in my life. Yo, you flip-flop more than a gymnast. Gabby Douglas can't do nothing with you. Can't do nothing with you, bro. Like Simone Biles, Gabby Douglas, all the rest of them can't do nothing with you. You are the biggest flip-flopper in the history of television. Let's watch this clip here to give you an example of what I'm talking about.
It hits me because, and I've often said this to a lot of people. I've said this to black folks. I've said this to folks, whether you're heterosexual, homosexual, bisexual, transgender, I don't care. You know what I've said oftentimes? When you're talking about civil rights and civil liberties for every human being out here, that is a fight worth fighting for. I will fight on behalf of the LGBTQ plus community any day of the week, just as much as I fight for the black community, just as much as I fight for the heterosexual community. I don't care. Right is right when it comes to your civil liberties. It hits me.
Bro, so this is about Trump banning Transformers from women's sports. Are you for it or against it? I can't really tell. I think right is right and wrong is wrong. I'm not fighting for no transgenders. For what? Why am I going to fight for them? What they want that I got to fight for? Tell me, explain to me that, Stephen A. Smith. What do transgenders need that I want to fight for? I don't understand. Because at the end of the day, they're men or they're women. That's it. Ain't no transgender. That's not even a real thing. That's just their state of mind. They feel like they're women. And you know what? Really, that's a mental illness. That's what that is. So I guess being trans does exist if you're mentally ill. We could just say that. People who are mentally ill do exist. And you know what I want to do for them? I want to help them to get treatment. I want to help them get help. I want them to get out of the mental illness. I'm not going to, quote unquote, fight for them. That's called enabling. It's like fighting for a crackhead to keep smoking crack. You know what the best thing to do would be to get the crackhead off the crack. Get the crackhead off the crack rather than fighting for him to continue to smoke it. Does it make sense? Am I making any kind of sense? I don't know. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. I've not seen it, but I want to see it because it's kind of been floating around, but I've not watched this at all yet. Let's keep on going.
It's been what? It's been like 2 weeks. I mean, 2 weeks. I'm done. You want to talk about regretting your vote?
So the guy had a MAGA hat and now he says he's done. But again, I've not watched this, so he might do a turn. Let's just keep on going.
In 2 weeks, I went from the highest high to being unemployed. Lost my job last night, got a phone call. The repercussions of what Elon Musk are doing with the USAID has real repercussions for real people. For the last 7 years, I have been a shift lead on Project Bus, where we studied to find out if the wheels on the bus went round around or not. And all of a sudden, Elon, who's not even elected, gets in, and I'm out of a job. What do I tell my family? What do I tell my kids? This isn't a joke. This USAID stuff is not a joke, man. It's affecting real people. And the worst part is, what if we never figure out if in fact the wheels on the bus do go round and round? Does nobody care?
Oh man, hey, sir, you did a great job selling it. Like you're really regretting it. Oh, I'm a Trump supporter. I hate Trump. You did a really good job selling it. And then your punchline delivery, A man, A++, A. My man, you did a great job. That was fantastic. The wheels on the bus go round and round was hilarious. But for real, that's what a lot of these jobs are. It'd be stuff like that. I said it. You know, you counting frog hair legs. All right, you counting frog leg hairs for a living, and you make $250,000. Now your job is gone. And now that's all of a sudden some kind of civil rights issue. Nah, man, like go get a different skill. Counting frog hairs is not a skill that is serious. You're not really doing any kind of real work. There's nothing that's done of any value. Okay? And as I said from the beginning, when I consider a real job something that people actually want, whatever it is, if there's a market for frog hair counters in this world, then that's a real job. If there's no market at all for it and you still get paid from taxpayer money, you're not working a serious job. You're just stealing money at the end of the day. That's all that it is. Now, North Carolina, the damaged area out in the West, they are already getting help from Trump, and I love it because I've been talking about this for a long time. The mountains, Western North Carolina, need help. I do not want them to be forgotten. I want there to really be a serious effort to help those people out there in that area of the country. So
President Trump.
Kristi Noem has an announcement. She has an update about that area, WNC. Check it out.
Trump came in and visited this community and in less than 20 days secured over $54 million for families in need and registered 2,600 families that needed assistance and hadn't gotten that type of help to get signed up for the programs that we have. In the past 5 days, we've decreased the number of open cases by almost 80%. President Trump is ensuring that communities aren't forgotten, and he launched the first major initiative to connect farmers with recovery assistance as well. Today, I had the chance to spend some time with Mark, who's a micro farmer in this area, and to talk about some of the FEMA programs that he's been able to utilize that have been incredibly helpful. President Trump came in and visited.
80% of the open cases already cleared. It's been 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and we got that done. We got funding. A lot of the cases cleared. We're actually moving forward in that area. 2 weeks. Why couldn't the other administration do this? I don't understand. I don't get it. So, yeah, shout out Kristi Noem, shout out Trump, shout out to the whole administration. 2 weeks made a lot of progress. The other team could not. It's really weird. Meanwhile, you go on TV, what are they crying about? They're crying about Elon and Doge and big balls and everything else. All right, let's watch.
Apparently, the security clearance of the former president of the United States, Joe Biden, has now been revoked by Donald Trump. Your very quick response.
Well, Trump has his petty grievances and his recriminations and the vengeance that he wants to exact against particular people. But watch Elon Musk, because what he's doing is taking control of the systems themselves. And so he wants to effectuate a complete transformation in our constitutional and governmental order. And that's why this is a 5-alarm crisis for all Americans. This is not the usual partisan conflict.
Apparently, the security clearance of the former president.
So Jamie Raskin, Mr. Hair Plugs himself, that whole thing that he did, man, I'll never forgive you for that, man. You took advantage of a cancer diagnosis to wear a bandana for an extended period of time. You would go on TV looking for sympathy, looking for coddling, only to take the bandana off and have a whole brand new head full of hair. Bro, we know what you did. Hair plugs, though, hair plugs is so 1980s. They got these new things, these wigs, these man units. Your man got that. Dave Rubin got that. Dave Rubin got the whole man unit. It's just like you cut the hair off top of your head, leave the sides, and just put the unit on top like a wig. They glue it on, they cut it, it looks real nice. There was no need to fake cancer to get hair plugs in 2025, bro. Or you might have had cancer, but you used that to get the hair plugs. I would never forgive him for that. Whenever I see Jamie Raskin, all I think about is that. I don't care what he's talking about. I don't care what he's doing. I don't care about nothing other than that. Now, speaking about some of the things that we're finding with Doge. Okay, so did you guys hear about the Kennedy Center? So the Kennedy Center in D.C. had a board. Trump dismissed the entire board and put himself as a chairman. Trump dismissed the entire board of the Kennedy Center in D.C. and put himself as a chairman. Now, $1 million question. Why would he do that, ABL? Well, what they were doing was funding drag shows. Let's watch some of this right quick, shall we?
As we're starting off the next 4 years, whatever they have in store for us, this is the energy that's going to carry us through. I guarantee that. Sing along, y'all. Brown-eyed women in red grenadine. The bottle was dusty, but the liquor was clean.
So that kind of thing is happening at the Kennedy Center. So yeah, man, let's go ahead and we can do is just fire everybody on the board. Fire everybody on the board. I'll be the chairman and get it back right. 100%. Just like USAID, you got 10,000 employees, billions of dollars that you are siphoning from the taxpayers to ridiculous pet projects that don't help American citizens. Okay, let's fire everybody. Hey, you got an issue with learn how to code. Learn how to code. That's what I would say. Let's keep on going. Now, speaking about USAID, they're taking the letters off of the building. And they're hiding. So look, so they have a sign right here, and they've covered up the USAID part, and you can see where they have U.S. Customs and Border Protection. So maybe they're going to move them in there, or just have them be the focus rather than USAID. Yeah, we're completely erasing them. And look, if the employees are good at their job, if they do a good job, they'll be able to find other kind of employment. If you make $250,000, whatever the case may be, a bunch of money, you're highly educated, you're highly skilled, you'll be just fine. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it. You'll be able to find a better job in theory, than a coal miner that you guys want to shut down, right? Not you guys watching, but the federal government. The government wanted to shut down coal mines because they want to get into quote unquote clean renewables or whatever. And people that are living in the area that the only industry is coal mining, like my home, West Virginia, all they have is coal mining. You take that from them and say, man, you'd be all right, learn how to code. You got high education, high degrees, like, who was that? Ashley Allison. I have this degree and that degree, all this and that. Okay, well, you should be prepared to go find other employment very easily. You should be okay. Don't even worry about it. So I ain't worried about you. Now, speaking about government agencies, I know you guys have seen this video right here. I know you guys have seen this. Now, this guy was outside of the Department of Education, which, by the way, should also get shut down next. Hopefully it does. He's outside preventing them from having access to it. Now, my question is, what is 1,000-year-old Maxine Waters and Judge Judy's long-lost sister on the left? Why are they trying to get into the DOE?
Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face up. Look at them. Let them see you. This is him. Look at it. What's your name? Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
Giving you the ID. I showed it to you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the ID.
Could you let me see the ID again? Huh?
No.
No? Will someone else ask him for the ID? Will you ask him for it? He won't let me see it again. You didn't see it. You didn't see it. They didn't see it. Look them in the eye.
All righty, so there we go. Look, lady on the left right here, I'm gonna call your sister on you. I'm gonna call your sister on you. I'll be like, yo, Judge Judy, come get your friend up out of this man's face. And shout out to the guy right here, just chilling, doing this thing, not bothering nobody. Mad Max with her wig, acting the fool for no reason. For no reason. I have a question to you guys watching. If we abolish the federal, because understand there's also state departments of education. If we abolish the federal Department of Education, what's going to happen? How would it affect us? Are we not going to have any more school lunches? That is the same thing as penitentiary food. If we're getting penitentiary food in the schools, then how would eliminating the DOE affect that? How can the penitentiary still get the food without the DOE? You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. But how would ending that agency harm us in this country? I think ending the agency, and then a lot of these afuera, get rid of a lot of these agencies, all of them. They're useless. There's just a bunch of bureaucracy and red tape and expense for no reason. For no reason. All right. NERN says no effect. I agree. Observer says the Department of Indoctrination. That is correct. That is correct. Yeah, that's right, Bailey. Bailey's Mystique says, how dare she ask for ID? That's racist, Max. Remember, Max? Exactly. I thought ID was racist. I thought Mad Max is from California, where they got a law that says you cannot ask for someone's ID at a voting place. They passed that law. Meanwhile, she's harassing this employee for his ID that he already gave her. Make it make sense. Now, you got mainstream media talking about big balls. That's what they're doing.
Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with Musk and Big Balls.
Big Balls.
Big Balls. Big Balls, who worked for Elon Musk's so-called Department of Government Efficiency, Doge.
In the one case of the Big Balls kid, a literal teenager.
Big Balls online. Big Balls here that Katie's talking about. A 19-year-old that goes by the username Big Balls. So that would be one way that we could refer to him.
Young computer whizzes, the aforementioned Big Balls.
Because who among us doesn't feel better about big balls in charge of American air traffic control?
All righty. So, yeah, shout out to Big Balls for driving the mainstream media to a frenzy. I love it. I love it. Hey, I like it. I love it. I want more of it. Shout out Tim McGraw, not Billy Ray, as I erroneously said in the previous video.
Yes, so this is a 19-year-old high school graduate who has used the unfortunate nickname Big Balls online. So that would be one way that we could refer to him. He is now working at Musk's behest inside Doge. And we looked into his background. And so we found, several notable things, Aaron, one of which is that this individual has founded multiple companies, including one with another unfortunate name, Tesla.sexy LLC.
Why is that name inappropriate? Tesla.sexy LLC. Why is that inappropriate? That's pretty. If that's inappropriate to these people, I don't really understand.
He established in 2021. He would have been around 16 years old. Now, this LLC controls dozens of web domains. Yes, so this is.
And you know what? Again, shout out to the young guys out here making moves, making things happen, getting money, taking advantage of what they have in front of them. 16 years old, starting LLCs. Really just into it already. Shout out to these guys. All right. Much respect to them. Now, this, I'm not sure what this is. Kara Swisher and Scott Galloway. Do you know who they are? I don't really know them, but it says Kara Swisher and Scott Galloway are in full panic mode, now calling for the arrest of Doge engineers. Quote, I want to see Democratic governors use the full faith and a letter of the law to put you folks in prison. This is a coup. We need to go gangster here. All righty. So Kara and Scott, you guys are going to go gangster. Okie dokie. All right. Scott, bro, you're going to go gangster. I love to see it.
I want to know who are these young, highly intelligent, highly motivated zealots following him into these buildings and shutting off payments to schools and Head Starts. I want to know their names.
Well, they're trying to, the local officials are trying to make that official. The newly installed Trump are threatening people for naming their names, just so you know. But go ahead.
Oh, yeah, but they can unmask CIA officers who put their lives in harm's way to try and keep our Americans safe. I want to know who their names are, and I want to see Democratic governors saying, I'm going to do everything I can in my power to use the full faith and to the letter of the law to put you folks in prison. I think what you're doing is trespassing. I think this is a coup. And be clear, just because the new insurrectionist who was elected, I don't believe this is legal. And I'm going to hold the people accountable who are trespassing.
An elected insurrectionist? Is that an oxymoron? Elected insurrectionist.
And a part of a coup, accountable. To just sit back and say this is horrible and this is unlawful, we need to go gangster here and say, look, we are not negotiating around this stuff. This is illegal. This is a coup. This is the unlawful seizure of power. We are not going to engage in these bullshit, ridiculous arguments over, Gaza and Greenland. We are going to hold the people accountable. Here are their names. Here are their faces. And we have contacted the local authorities in where these kids live, these young adults, and we are going to hold them accountable.
They love telling on you, calling the police for no reason. That's they thing they like to do on social media. You say something they don't like, they're going to report your comment immediately. They love tattletelling. And a tattletale, in my opinion, you're telling on someone about really petty things that don't really matter.
And the question is, a lot of them are like, what do we do? They're literally asking me, what do we do to stop him? I was like, I just don't. I was like, you actually don't have the means to do so.
My question is Elon or anyone in the government breaking the law? You can't just say they're doing something I don't like and let's stop them. Well, if they're not breaking the law, you can't do nothing. You can try to organize people to vote for a different guy in 4 years, but beyond that, that's it.
Because these poor people are in these agencies, and when these idiots come in, these children, these arrogant little pricks come in and say, we're going to call the federal marshals, or the president has ordered you to step aside, they kind of have to. You have to be resistant and be walked out by security, and then security doesn't know which one to listen to.
Linda asked a great question in the chat. Linda says, are they all on antidepressants? I don't know about all, but I would say a lot of them. A lot of people are on drugs. They're on drugs. You could kind of tell, look in their face, and then the way they behave. That right there, that's a lot of drug-induced psychosis and things of this nature.
Right? Essentially.
I'd like to see all, whatever it is, 48 or 49 U.S. senators and any Republicans that want to join. I'd like to see a couple hundred members of Congress go to the fucking building where this is.
All right. So there we go. They're just upset. But, yo, you could be upset all you want to, but good luck. So now Elon Musk's Doge team has gained access to FEMA's network, causing major panic within the agency. A small team has gained access to FEMA's network, unlocking private and sensitive information. FEMA staffers confirmed that Elon Musk's Doge team is now digging into data on FEMA grants. Donald Trump has pledged possibly dismantle the entire agency. And that's the thing about FEMA. FEMA, they're supposed to be there to help the American people in times of tragedy, but they might show up, but they don't do a good job. They're not very efficient. And that's been a problem for many, many years now, since Katrina. Now you're dealing with Milton and Helene and things of this nature. I just told you guys that they went to North Carolina. Within the past 2 weeks of Trump being in office, they already have cleared 80% of the open cases. 80% in 2 weeks. That right there points to government inefficiency if they were not able to do it in the previous administration.
Also be signed an executive order to begin the process of fundamentally reforming and overhauling FEMA, or maybe getting rid of FEMA. I think, frankly, FEMA is not good. I think when you have a problem like this, I think you want to go and, whether it's a Democrat or Republican governor, you want to use your state to fix it and not waste time calling FEMA, and then FEMA gets here and they don't know the area, they've never been to the area, and they want to give you rules that you've never heard about. They want to bring people that aren't as good as the people you already have. And FEMA's turned out to be a disaster. And you could go back a long way. You could go back to Louisiana. You could go back to some of the things that took place in Texas. It turns out to be the state that ends up doing the work. It just complicates it. I think we're going to recommend that FEMA go away.
Absolutely. And you know what? You know what they could do? If there's a disaster in a state, let the state handle it and give money to the state from the feds. All right, look, all right, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. We know how to handle certain things. We know what we got to do. We know we got to have certain supplies. We need to just have money so we can get it. So we could just facilitate this whole thing better. We're going to do the work anyway. We're going to be the ones helping. In North Carolina, it was neighbors helping neighbors. Neighbors helping neighbors. All right, so let's empower local agencies with monies so they can go out there and do what they got to do in a time of need. That's what I would say. Because FEMA is a very flawed agency. They do some good, but they're just not very good. The federal government, I've been saying for a long time, sucks. A lot of their agencies sucks, full of bloat and incompetence, and they're worried about DEI and inclusion and ridiculous corporate stuff rather than the task at hand. That's what I would say. Do you guys think FEMA is a good agency, bad agency? Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. How about California? Well, look, California's government, that's a really good question. What about California? I don't know. I think that, you know what? It should be a state-run thing as well, because we can't just keep bailing out these poorly performing states who are just incompetent in the leadership. It's going to force California to hire real people in there and not just have these pretend jobs in important roles. Okay, you have somebody that has one task to ensure that this reservoir has water in it, to ensure that there's a cover over the reservoir to make sure the water is good to go when you need it. Okay, so if you know the feds are not going to be there to help, they're not really going to give you have to hire the correct person because you have no other choice. You got to have things prepared properly because there's no other choice. And it's also up to the local people to vote in the correct people. 100%. 100%. All right. So the UN says if we stop giving billions of dollars to Africa through U.S. aid, then 6.3 million AIDS patients are going to die.
We have 5,000 public health worker contracts that are funded by U.S. assistance, and all of these in all regions of Ethiopia have been terminated. And 10,000 data clerks, very important in Ethiopia, so that we continue monitoring and ensuring that people are on treatment. So as UNAIDS, we estimate that if PEPFAR wasn't reauthorized between 2025 and 2029 and other resources were not found for the HIV response, there would be a 400% increase in AIDS death. That's 6.3 million people, 6.3 million AIDS-related deaths that will occur in future. We have 5,000.
All right. So, I mean, look, to me, just off of me hearing this right now, it sounds like BS. It sounds like BS. Look, I put it to you this way. Let's get Magic Johnson to go down there and whatever kind of cure he got, give it to everybody else, because obviously he got the cure. Look, Magic Johnson allegedly got AIDS in the early 90s and had to retire from basketball. It's now 2025. What kind of AIDS did you get? Financial AIDS? Bro, you became a multimillionaire, billionaire after you got AIDS. You ain't die. What's really going on? Y'all let me know. Anyway, shout out to you guys in the chat. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, let's keep on moving. We got a little bit more here, and then I'm going to get to the calls a little bit later. All right, where we at?
Elon Musk.
We got Pocahontas crashing out over Elon, of course.
Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Elon Musk.
Do you guys think that Elon Musk is the new Trump? Is that why they put Elon on the front cover of Time magazine at the Resolute desk? Hold on, let me see if I can find that right quick. They put him at the Resolute desk, Trump's desk. And let me see if I could just find the image. Because like they want to say that he's the president. But what I think is that they are trying to elevate him to that level because he is their new obsession. He's a new obsession. See, look. That's how to think about Elon. And the language they use is kind of unhealthy. They'll say stuff like he, rather than saying his name. Are you referring to Jesus? Like, what's going on? You're putting these people at a very high level, very high pedestal, and you're trying to demonize them. But really, you're just making them become more of an iconic figure, the same kind of way you did to Trump. The whole thing about Trump, okay, we're going to mention him. We're going to say his full name when we're trying to tear him down. And sometimes we're not going to mention his name because we don't really want to say it. But the whole point is to villainize him, make him be the worst thing in the world. That didn't work because he curb stomped Kamala Harris in the 2024 presidential election. Same thing with Elon. Elon now I look at in a very positive light because they hate him so much. And they want to say ridiculous and weird things about him. It makes me appreciate him that much more. I appreciate Elon for being the guy who volunteered to help this nation. Whether he's getting paid or not, it doesn't really matter. He volunteered his time and his effort and his energy to help save this nation. As a person who's not even an American citizen, well, he's a citizen, but he's not a born American. He came from South Africa, immigrated over here, and is helping the nation. See, we want immigrants like that. People that come from somewhere else, and then they come to America and embrace the nation. We want that. We don't want murderers like the Salvadoran person who had to get deported from California. We don't want those. We want productive people and also patriotic people. We want them. Now, to go back to U.S. aid right quick, they spent a lot of money. What's this? $150 million. $159 million from tax money to build 106 climate resilient schools in Pakistan. Okay. So what's that? About $1.5 million each?
गवर्नमेंट प्राइमरी स्कूल ये यूएस की इमदाद से बनने वाला स्कूल है, यानी इसके अंदर सिंध गवर्नमेंट के पास इंटरनेशनल इमदाद के बाद ये स्कूल बनाया गया। इस स्कूल की सूरत हाल देखें, ये जो दावेदार है कि सिंध के अंदर इन्होंने बहुत तरक्की कर ली है, ये ठट्टा का अभी मैंने दौरा शुरू किया है, जिला ठट्टा कराची से बिल्कुल करीब मुतसिल, आप उसकी सूरत हाल देख लें कि ये स्कूल है.
So they're in Pakistan, they're in Karachi, Pakistan, and look at the condition of the school. $1.5 million for this. Now I understand you might be in developing nation and schools could look like that, but for 1.5, how?
रुपए वाले टैक्स है, ये 25,000 के टैक्स है. एक टैक्स 25,000 का जो सिंध गवर्नमेंट ने लिया था, ये वो टैक्स रखा हुआ है. लेकिन इस स्कूल की दरो दीवार फटी हुई है, खिड़की नहीं है, प्लास्टर उतरा हुआ है. ये टीचर की टेबल है, ये टीचर की टेबल है, और इस टीचर की टेबल के साथ.
So I'm not understanding where the $1.5 million went. That right there looks like it's about $1,000. Like this is what I'm talking about. It's the corruption, it's the graft, it's the waste, it's the fraud, it's the abuse, it's all of that. $1.5 million for that. Is that a good use of taxpayer money? Windows not even in the structure, looking like something from Africa or just a third world country, a developing nation. Why did we need to pay for that at all? That kind of thing could have already been there from what they have available from their own resources. Exactly, Robert. 5,000 max. 1.5 million. Again, they spent $159 million on 106, what I say, climate resilient schools in Pakistan. Ridiculous. All right. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff that helped me out tremendously. Now, Frontier, oh my goodness, Frontier Airlines. Y'all know I had my little issue on Frontier. My issue, we had a dope fiend on board. If you guys heard my story or you saw my video in which editor Monique, shout out to Monique if you're watching. Monique did an amazing job editing and bringing my story to life. A lot of you guys really enjoyed that video. That's probably one of my favorite videos I've done, being able to tell a comedic story like that. But in my case, it was just a guy who had to get Narcan and deplaned, and he didn't want to get off the plane. So I had to be a little bit vocal. I'm a loud person. I try to be quiet. Like, I try to whisper sometimes, and it's still kind of loud. So normally, I don't really talk too much in public unless somebody, we having a conversation. But I know that if I say something, it could be a fight. Because it's going to be real loud. The whole plane going to hear me. And he might not take it too well. But he took it pretty well and got off. But if it was going to be a fight, I was ready for a fight. And I'm no tough guy. I don't like to fight. I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter at all. But if I got to fight, I'm going to stomp you in the wine because it's your fault that I'm doing this. And I don't even want to do it. I'd rather would just be chilling, minding my business. You brought me out of my character. Now I got to punish you. And in this case, this guy had to get punished because here's what happened. You see the guy right here with his neck in the seat who's being like folded up like this. They got this man looking like a cinnamon roll, rolled up, folded up. What he did was try to talk to a woman in front of him on the plane. She's not interested. He flips out, begins to punch and kick the back of her chair. Then he begins to punch and kick the window on the plane as it's in the sky, trying to break it out. He cracked the window. I'm like, bro, if I see that happening, see, now you're endangering not only my safety, but the entire plane safety. Hundreds of people. I'm going to get all these guys, I don't care what color they are, and we're going to stomp you completely in the wine because you're endangering my safety. And again, now I got to punish you because it's your fault. You did this to us. And I don't want you to succeed in busting the window out because the plane is going to have a problem.
There's two-way scanner here. I got Tyson.
And before we continue into it, I want to give these guys, again, a big shout out. You guys are heroes. You should be treated as such. You should be respected as such. Because when the guy was carrying on, stomping the window out, acting the fool, The flight attendants, they don't want no problems. Some of the guys that's not really about fighting, and some of the women, it takes strong men to step up and save the day. Shout out to my main man, Daniel Penny. Hey, Daniel Penny, you are my hero. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. You're my hero because you stepped up when nobody else would. And people always want a person to step up or guys to step up. Always. It could be a guy acting the fool, crashing out. He's dangerous. He has a gun. He's on drugs. They always want somebody to step up. And that was you in that instance. You put your life in jeopardy and your freedom in jeopardy. So shout out to you. You're my hero. These guys, same thing. Let's keep on watching.
I got it, baby. You get that little wrist? I got it. Yeah, his wrist right in your blood. Let's get his arms first here. This is his arm. You got his arms? You got it in? No. It's not on. Come on, bro. Suéltame, bro.
So I was today years old when I learned that flight attendants do have zip ties. Because I heard the zip tie. I'm like, who had the zip ties? Were the zip ties in somebody's bag just randomly? No. So flight attendants have zip ties for these kind of situations where somebody's acting the fool. They're uncontrollable. All right, let's go in the back and get some zip ties. So shout out to the flight attendants for providing those. They see the scuffle going on, the melee. Boom, here goes some zip ties. Use those, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Get around and then pull. Can you tie the legs up to him?
And listen, I'm going to just turn this down a little bit. They had to hold this guy for an hour and a half until the plane landed. Now, Frontier did not press charges, but it's going to be a Fed case. It has to be. You disrupting the flight. You kicking the window out on the plane. You going to Gitmo. Hey, Tom Homan, can we make this guy, can we get him a special flight to Gitmo? A lot of migrants are going. Put him on a migrant flight. Ain't no need for no regular flight just for him. So a chartered flight, a special thing, spending a bunch of money. You're going to ship migrants to Gitmo anyway. Throw him on there. It's okay for him to be on the plane because on that plane ain't going to be no freedom of movement. You're going to be shackled up like Hannibal Lecter on the airplane the next time. So yeah, people like that, man, you endangering people's safety on the airplane. Nah, we don't play like that. That's like some 9/11 terrorism type situation. We don't do that. Shout out to the people in Shanksville. If you guys don't know about 9/11, the thought process, and if I'm wrong, y'all let me know. The thought process is that the plane crashed in Shanksville because the people on the airplane fought back against the terrorists who were trying to hijack it, who did hijack it. They fought back. And unfortunately, it crashed right where it crashed, but that was evidence that they fought back. That's what the prevailing thought process is or was. So yeah, in that situation, you have got to go. Now, I'm going to play one more thing here about some of the expenses that Doge was able to discover. All right, let's get some sound. That might help. And RIP in advance to the headphone users. Let's watch.
Because you can't really defend this kind of stuff. $45 million for diversity and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $3 million for girl-centered climate action in Brazil. $125 million to racialize public health. $288,000 for diverse birdwatcher groups. USAID, which is in the center of the storm right now, and rightfully so, spent $1.5 billion to, quote, advance diversity, equity, inclusion in Serbia's workplaces and business communities. $70,000 for the production of a DEI musical in Ireland. $2.5 billion for electric vehicles for Vietnam. $47,000 for a transgender opera in Columbia. Not Columbia, Missouri, or Columbia, South Carolina. The country of Colombia. $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. $2 million for sex changes and LGBT activism in Guatemala. $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt.
Why? Why? All those things now, it's a wrap. Money laundering, exactly. Money laundering, because, and the thing about it is, they can say it's for something, and the things they said that they spent money on are ridiculous, but the things that they say they spend money on might not even be the thing for real. It could be for a whole different purpose. Okay, it's for a transgender opera, allegedly, but where's money really going? Again, they said for schools in Pakistan, for that little box that we saw that looked like something straight from sub-Saharan Africa, $1.5 million for that. You know, it didn't cost that much. Somebody or some people put the monies in their pockets. Put the money in their pocket. They said they spent 1.5 on that building. They really spent $5,000 and put the other remaining 1.4 X, Y, and Z into their pocket. That's what they did. Built one of them really big skyscraper buildings in the slum and left that be that. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for being here. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Oh, one more thing. We were talking about California and a lack of competent government in the state, needing the federalists to bail them out. Here's Gavin talking about how he failed to listen to Trump 4.5 years ago about how to maintain the forest in the state. Check it out.
As you know, that President Trump has pressed for California requiring voter ID and changing to the water system. Did that come up with your meeting with him?
We talked about both, yeah.
You talked about both? And did you say you would?
We've been in an ongoing conversation for over, I feel like I told the president when he was on the tarmac last week in Los Angeles, I said, we're picking up on the last conversation we had around water 4.5 years prior. So I will say this, he's very focused on that issue. He certainly targeted some of that in terms of some of the actions he took by executive order.
2 billion gallons of water.
And so we had and that's why it was an extended conversation. I didn't even know people knew how long the conversation was, but it was an extended conversation. And so it was spirited. And look, and it's exactly.
Spirited how so? Bring us into that.
Because we were just, it was an engaging conversation. You know what it was? It was a two-way conversation. And that's what it should be. I mean, just different points of view, expressing a different understanding of the nuances on the ground, but an appreciation to get something done.
Bro, come on, man. Like, the dumbest argument that I've heard is that water was not necessary to fight the fire. It's like, you gonna tell me that? You really gonna tell me that? Like, you don't need water to fight a fire? What can you fight a fire with if not water? What, hope and dreams and hope and change? Barack Obama gonna come back and just say hope and change and the fire gonna go out? You need water. Now, I'm not saying if you had water that the fire was never gonna happen at all and it was never gonna be. Nah, but you gotta mitigate the damage. You have to keep it under control. You gotta be able to have a fighting chance to save some structures, to save some buildings, to save some of what you've built up. It's basic common sense. This is not rocket science. I'm not saying anything new. I'm not reinventing the wheel. Water is what you use to fight fire. It's simple. It's really just that you can't cut off oxygen outside like that, obviously. And such a thousands of acres, you got to have water. I mean, these people, man. But yeah, shout out Gavin Newsom, a moron. If you live in California, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. You got to deal with that guy, okay? Because he's a mess. All of your officials in that area of Southern California, a mess, a complete mess. Somebody said dirt. Yeah, put more organic material on the fire to fight it. That'll work. Hilarious. But that's what they think. That's what they think. Hold on. Spirit Anon says, everyone knows you fight fire with DEI hiring. There we go. That'll do it. Get you a bulldagger fire chief. That'll fight the fire right there. Get you a bulldagger, non-binary, racially ambiguous fire chief. That'll put out the fire. But no water. If she shows up, hey, you know what? We can't put the fire out, but at least you know it's a person who looks just like you who could not put the fire out. That's all you got to worry about, okay? But if you like what you heard so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Let's get super chats right quick. Then we're going to get to the calls. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let me refresh right quick, and then we're going to get into it. All right, where we at? All right, here we go. Perfect. All right, thank you to Pete Sangria, who says Doge equals Department of Government Elimination. Yahoo! Right on. Thank you to Apu Bakar Al Puff Daddy, who says ABL opinion on big balls, appropriate or not. It's fine. It's totally fine. You know, it's what a 19-year-old genius would say. You know, you're 19, you're having a good time. Why not? Thank you to Apple again, who says, ABL, please tell President Trump to stop talking about annexing Canada. The left in Canada are seizing on it for political support. Conservatives must win. Thank you to Ron Henderson, who says, Doge is scooping the sledge in the bottom of the pit. Get the grift stopped in the government. 100%. Absolutely. Thank you to Steel Toad, who says, those folks will be okay. Jobs are opening up everywhere. Lots of low-skill positions are available out there. That's right. Hey, rather than the migrants working in the chicken plant, the hotels, all this and that, let those who were fired from the government do it. I know they can't go to Starbucks every day and get the mochaccino capo latte the way they want, and they can't take vacations for 3 months every year the way they used to before, but it's okay. They can still work in this country, all right? Thank you to Apple again, who said, thank you, God and President Trump, for pardoning pro-lifers and J6ers, but there are still some inside, like Green Beret, Jeremy Brown, FBI planted false evidence. Thank you to Apple again, who says, Doge cut off Catholic charities for illegal migration. Oh, yeah. Did I tell y'all about the lady, the woke bishop? If I didn't tell you, or if I did, I'm going to tell you again, just so we're on the same page. So Bishop Marianne Buddy's Episcopal Migration Ministries, EMM, collected $53 million from government programs in 2023 for migrant resettlement. So maybe that's the reason why she had that really woke speech against Trump when he got into office at church. Maybe that's why. It's like, bro, you're talking about closing the border up. I'm trying to get this money. If you close the border, I can't get no more money. A lot of what's happening right now, a lot of the pushback against Doge and whatnot is because the gravy train for these people is coming to an end. It's greed, really, because it get paid plenty of money in the government, especially. How much is your salary? $175,000, $200,000, $250,000. That's not enough? Is that not enough? You got to have more money, more money, more money. You do all these kind of weird things to grift, like Ilhan Omar, getting married to your brother for purposes of immigration, not being married to your real husband, leaving him and your kids after like 25 years. Then you get with this white guy after saying white guys are so dangerous, and the white guy is your consultant, and 70% of your campaign money goes to your consultant, who you're now married to, so that campaign money goes to your household and you can spend it, although you're not really supposed to be spending campaign money, but you found a loophole. They are so greedy, the salary they get, which is more than the majority of us making a year, is not enough. They have to rob you. They have to fleece you. They got to do things that are illegal and straight up steal to get more money. USAID was how a lot of them were able to have all this little side money. Ask yourself this question. How are you having a salary of like $400,000 tops, but you're worth $100 million or something crazy like that? How? Now we're starting to clearly see why. Now we're starting to clearly see how they get that much money when their base salary is nowhere near that. Exactly, Chris L. It's our money. They take our money in very creative ways. The salary isn't enough. We got to get more and more and more money. That's it. Thank you to Apple Blocker Al Puff Daddy, who says, Ivan, do you want USA to succeed under President Trump? Apple again says, ABL, you going to watch Super Bowl? What snacks? Who wins? I'm going to be totally honest. I don't watch sports anymore. I'm kind of done. I watch some highlights on social media, but beyond that, I'm good. I might watch the game a little bit. I try to watch it. I feel like it's fake. I mean, I feel like I already knew they were going to bring the Chiefs to the big game, because every time I see a highlight, it's like something really crazy that the refs are doing for the Chiefs. And then they want to have the Eagles because you got the black quarterback and he's handsome. It's just, I like football. I like sports. I like basketball. I like a lot of sports, but it's just too fake. So I watch some of it. Oh, you know what I want to see? I do want to see this. I might watch the game just for this moment. They said Elon is going to spend $40 million on ads during the game to show how well Doge is doing. If that's true, I want to see that. And to be totally frank, I don't need to watch the game to see that. Okay? Oh, Taylor Swift, I swear for everything in this world. If I see Taylor Swift one time on my TV, I'm going to turn the whole TV off. I'm going to turn the TV off. I could watch the ads, I could watch the ads on social media now. As soon as they show the ad on TV, even before, I can go on my Twitter and look at it. Why watch the game? Yeah, I've not watched sports in years. Not like sitting down watching the game. I watch highlights because I still enjoy sports. I just can't sit and watch it anymore. I'm done. So I watch some of it a little bit. I'll try, but beyond that, I'm good. Thank you to Dolores Ranteria for the unboxing emoji. Thank you to Rose Readings, who says thoughts of Kanye tweet that he slept with Ivanka. I mean, I haven't seen that. Kanye says anything, so I don't really take too much of what he says for 100% the gospel. Apple says, ABL, what's your opinion on President Trump's ban on Transformers and girls' sports? How about Judge blocking Trump's ban on Transformers from women's prisons? Now, first of all, there shouldn't be men in women's prisons. So I don't know how the judge is saying that's okay. I mean, men are in men's prisons for a reason. And we're talking about prison. We ain't talking about school. We're talking about the penitentiary, Big Rocks, Little Rocks. Guys that have been convicted of crime. So I don't think dangerous people, a lot of times, should be in proximity to women. It's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. So, no, that's just common sense. And then I'm glad that he was able to ban the Transformers from girls' sports because it's unfair to the girls and the women who are good enough to compete with other women, but not good enough to compete against the men. And it also puts girls especially in a very vulnerable situation in the locker room. To have a full-grown man in there or a full, okay, you got a 14-year-old boy. Like, imagine me. I'm 14 years old. I'm already 6 foot tall and 240 pounds at age 14. At 14, really, when I'm 12, I look like an adult at age 12. At 12, people thought that I was an adult. When I be outside, I'm 5'9", 5'10". At 12, I'm probably 5'9" and at least 185 pounds. I look like an adult. How are you going to put that person in a girl's locker room? It's ridiculous. Look, I did a play when I was in the 5th grade. 4th grade or 5th grade, I did a play, and I had a soliloquy, right? I did very good. Round of applause, standing ovation, you know the whole thing. At the end of my little soliloquy, I had to give the young lady on stage a little hug, right? Little church hug, that kind of thing. I'm towering over her, towering. I'm head and shoulders. Like, if the young lady is right here, I'm up here. At 10 years old. Boys and girls not the same. And I think that we all understand that, but a lot of these ridiculous people who appreciate, who want the trans people together with regular people, they don't really get it. They think that all you got to do is identify as woman and now you're a woman. That's not how that works. Either you have XX chromosomes or XY chromosomes. That's it. They get to Kenneth Clark. Hey, my man, Kenneth Clark, CRC. Shout out to you, man. Hey, Kenneth Clark, man, if you're still here, I remember you from way back, man. I'm glad you're still here. I probably met you, Kenneth, like, what, 08? 07, 08, back in the PMG days, back in my graphic design days. So shout out to you, man. Thank you for supporting throughout the years, man. I really, really appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you to Lothair, who says, I know people who have autism and ADHD, narcissism, and promise me they don't randomly scream at people on the streets like that. Don't make excuses and don't be a nuisance to people. Yeah, exactly. Just because you got some kind of diagnosis does not mean you could be a bad person to people. That's not what that means. All right. Shout out to PMCK, who says, hi, ABL, avid viewer from Glasgow, Scotland. Good to catch you live. Keep exposing the ridiculous. Will do. Gotta do it. Shout out to Scotland. Shout out to Ron Henderson, who said, it takes a few good men to make America great with big balls in the house. They got a lot there again who says, what's your favorite wrestling move? The power bomb. Easy. Power bomb. Tombstone. So the power bomb from Kevin Nash. The tombstone from Taker. And who else? I think I would say one more would probably be like an old school, the Hogan leg drop. For third place is tied the Hogan leg drop, because I was a big Hogan fan. Hogan in the 80s especially, love Hogan. So the Hogan leg drop, Stone Cold Stunner, and Rock Bottom, all of those. Those are my favorite moves back in the day. All right, shout out to Lothair again, who says, is Obama actually getting a divorce? I mean, hey, I don't know. If he is, I wouldn't be surprised, because something ain't right. Big Mike has been absent from everything for the past little while now. They put out a picture and the body language is crazy. Can I put that picture up right quick? Hold on. Body language, Obama, Michelle. I want to search Big Mike, but that ain't going to come up. Okay. Let me see if they got the picture. Yeah, there we go. There, look, I found it. Look at this picture. So they put that out recently. Do they appear to be a happy, loving couple? They couldn't be sitting further apart from each other. And look at, first of all, they're like an ocean apart from each other in the table. And Barack's body language is like turned away from the table. So he's not facing straight ahead like I am right now. He's like kind of turned and then doing this number right here. You see his knees and whatnot? Hers the same way. Now, maybe it's for the camera. No. I think they just do not like each other anymore. I think this is over with. I think it's over with. And when she comes out publicly and says that they're over, that's going to be a big problem. It's going to be a big embarrassment. It's going to be an international incident. You heard it here first. If they get divorced, it'd be the first time ever it happened in White House history, as far as I know. It would be a disaster. A disaster. And embarrassing. Embarrassing. Especially for the community. Black Jesus and Big Mike get divorced. Real bad. Yes, I call her Big Mike because she is embarrassing Barack Obama, and I don't like that. Even though I don't like Barack, I don't like her even more because of what she's doing to him. You see? Shout out to Pete Sangria, who says, NY Attorney General Letitia James is under investigation for inflating her assets values to get mortgages. The same exact thing she prosecuted Trump for. Catch this, X, Y, and Z. Hey, we'll see how that works out. That'd be funny if she actually gets caught up with that. Thank you to Ron Henderson, who says, because of fake news is why we love the new media. Thank you, ABL. Hey, I'm here for y'all. Thank you. Thank you to Jag Alscar Dig, who says, OMG, please no more meltdowns on ABL. Meltdowns are mental illness. Why should we be forced to look at nut jobs? No more, ABL. Hey, I got you. Thank you to G Nails, who says, Timu Al Green needs to be primary like yesterday. And Crockett, too. Salute ABL, Crockett, and Plaskett need to go with him. Hey, man, get them all up out of here ASAP. Put them on the same boat. Send them to the same penitentiary. Big rocks, little rocks. Thank you to Steve Nelson, who says 8 months. Time flies when you're having fun. So you've been a member for 8 months. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. I could not do this show without you. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says, Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme was nothing compared to what our government has done. People should be in jail. 100% correct. Thank you to Ron Henderson, who says, get rid of FEMA, start a disaster fund for America. Exactly. Because the states, the neighbors can do better than the federales. The states do better than the federales. When we need emergency funding, just go ahead and give that when you have a disaster. That'll just expedite the process more. Get us the funding directly, and we get what's needed. That's it. Thank you to Ron Henderson, who says, get rid of FEMA. I read that one. Thank you to James Robinson, who says, the acronym for Tesla's model names is sexy with a 3, Model S, Model 3, Model X, and Model Y. Oh, okay. So the acronym for Tesla's model names is sexy. So Model S for the S, Model 3 for the E, but it's a 3, Model X for the X, Model Y for the Y. Sexy. Tesla couldn't use E because Ford said it sounded closer to Model T. Tesla Sexy LLC. Selective outrage. Shaking my head. Very good catch. Shout out to you. Hey, that's why we need smart people in government. We need smart people. Obviously, your news people, not very smart. Your TV news people, not very smart. And you know why they don't like us? Is because we stomping them in the curb. We're curb stomping them. We get stories first. We get the stories best. We get all of that. And a lot of times we got to correct them. They got a lot of money, a lot of education, and they get stuff wrong. They editorialize to the point where the story becomes different. We got to come in and be the fact checkers and people that bring the correct news to the masses. That's why we exist, and they are upset at that. They resent that because they want to control the narrative. And when we come in and destroy the narrative, that defeats their purpose. And I hope that a lot of them are finding themselves unemployed, because when you engage in willfully and knowingly deceiving the public, you deserve to get fired and lose your livelihood. Thank you to Ron Henderson, who says the cost for administration costs a lot these days. Let's cut the fat. Yeah, that sounds weird to me. Shout out to you. Thank you to Ron Henderson, who says everybody knows you could put a grease fire out with baking soda. Go California. Shout out to It's Lanita, who says how Gavin could sit there and smile when people lost everything under his watch is very bad. P. Poor. Thank you to Tracy Ranger, who says I used to work for USFS here in California 20 plus years ago. We used to do trail maintenance, those lines top of the ridges, prescribed burns to clear dead, unburned fuel. You have to do preventative maintenance or you get a disaster. Exactly. And everybody knows that. You build these homes up in the canyons and these winding mountains, and you're going to have a potential for forest fires. You know what you got to do to prevent it. And when these things are not done, you have a disaster. And that's where the blame should go rather than anything else. All righty, let's get to the calls here. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. There's also an email in the description box. You could call that and be right here, bottom left-hand corner of the screen. And, of course, the number is right there in the ticker, 434-658-1220. And it'll always be in the description box as well, the email and the number. All righty, let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling with the calls. Let me get my sound together. There we go. Perfect. And 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony. How you doing, my brother from another mother?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
It's FNA Ranger Xbox. Boy, it's hard to get through to you these days. You're getting popular. Thank God. You off a speaker. All right. Since I haven't been able to call for a while, you know my lane is aviation, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'd like to talk about the D.C. crash, if I may, please.
Go for it.
Now, that young captain, she was in the National Guard, and she had around 500 hours, and she was right where she needed to be. And she has a right to be a brain-dead liberal and everything else and working for Joe Biden. That's her right as an American. I spent 4 years defending her constitutional right to be a brain-dead liberal. Now, they were on a training flight. There was a chief officer that was the instructor. They were also on a continuity of government mission. Now, they're talking about the flight path and all that. Now, if they were wearing their night vision, that's like having paper towel tubes in front of your eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're a kid and you pretend you got binoculars.
Yeah.
That's what it's like looking through those. So imagine being in a cramped cockpit of a helicopter. Now, traditionally, the helicopter pilot sits on the right, but I guess in a Black Hawk it doesn't matter. But any other helicopter, the pilot would sit on the right, which is backwards from a regular fixed wing aircraft. The pilot in fixed wing aircraft sits on the left. Now, the pilot that's landing, the airliner, he's in the glide slope for landing. He's on final. So, as you know from riding an aircraft, the nose is tilted up in the air slightly, and you're descending. So, they're not going to necessarily see that landing light, which is made to shine objects that are on the ground when the airplane's level, taxiing around on the ground so you don't run over, the cart handler or a tug or any personnel, suck them up into the jet engine. That'd be bad. That's what the landing lights are for. Also, so other airplanes can see you. But that airport has 800 landings and takeoffs a day. My contention is the air traffic controller supervisor allowed the ATF controller, that sole responsibility is the helicopter traffic. That is Washington, D.C. There are helicopters flying low around that town all over the place because them senators and congressmen are not going to wait in traffic. They demand a helicopter ride. And that's why they have that entire wing there to haul them around Washington, D.C. The air traffic controller went home early. I blame the supervisor for allowing that. President Trump mentioned it in about 15 minutes of one of his talks, and he was very angry about it also. I happened to screen grab that. And that's what I believe the number one cause of the crash was. We train as we fight. Do you understand that, Anthony?
Yeah.
We don't pretend, we train as we fight. So they probably were off course. And they were at the wrong altitude. And they did have the switch for the altitude turned off. They had everything exactly as they would have it in a continuity of government exercise. The problem is the air traffic controller that would have been monitoring them and said, hey, you should watch traffic. And the key thing that you don't hear on those audio tapes that you should have heard was Army helicopter. You got traffic at your 9 o'clock in the landing glide slope. That wasn't said. He just said traffic. And when you got 800 airplanes a day landing, there's a lot of landing lights in the sky. You know what I'm saying? Especially with night vision, because it's very hard to distinguish. And that's all I got to say about that. Now, as far as homosexuality goes, any species on the planet, you have a normal 4 to 8% homosexuality in the species. Humans here in America are at almost 30%. That's created through child molestation. That's why most lesbians are the most miserable people and man-hating people you know, because they were molested as little girls. Now, true lesbians, bull dykes, they're not bad people and they don't hate men. I've had a couple of them that I actually are good friends with, one down in Florida. And, what you do is what you do. Just leave the children alone. That's all I got for you all tonight, brother. Thank you for taking my call. God bless you, ABL. Oh, and about Elon. Elon is just doing a financial audit of the government. He lets the bureaucrats and Trump's team know what's going on, and Trump is directing Elon on what to do. Elon is doing this. He ain't getting paid. He's doing it for the sheer joy of tipping over their apple cart. And I'll let you go with that, my brother. You have a great night. Great show. God bless America. Oh, and don't forget, you can call Al Green. You can call these people. Contact Al Green phone number. It'll come up on Google. I promise. I do it all the time. I do not recommend violence, but you let them know justice is coming, baby. Good night, ABL. Good night, America. Love you. Bye.
All right. Shout out, man, for the call. Most certainly appreciate it. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Let's go to, where are we going to go here? Let's go 857, you're online. Speaking to 857.
Hey man, so I'm trying to educate you about foreign aid, and you're still repeating the same mistake. How many times I gotta tell you that foreign aid, the United States do not send cash to any country except for Israel and during the Iraq War because with the transition of the currency and in Afghanistan.
Okay,
how many times I gotta tell you that?
Okay, so I just played a video of someone talking about, well, if we stop sending U.S. aid money to Africa, people will die of AIDS. So was that person lying?
Yes, lying, because we don't send.
Okay.
I just told you. So you want to listen for one time.
Wait. So how do I know that you're telling the truth and that person is lying?
So let me use logic. Logic versus propaganda. So let's logic. I'm talking logic. United States, let's say Africa have a breakout of malaria, AIDS, all these things. So United States is going to send wire transfer to a bank in Africa, $50 million. What are they going to do with the $50 million?
Well, I mean, who says that? Is that how it works? Who said that?
No, that's not how it works. I'm trying to explain to you.
But I didn't. But wait. Excuse me.
So you want to
No. Because I never said that's how it works. So why would you say that? Who said that's how it works?
You just said that they send money to Africa.
No. I didn't say what you said. You said something different. I said nothing about sending no money to no bank. You said that. I just told you. Excuse me. I just showed a clip of somebody from the UN talking about the aid money from America. They said it, not me.
So let me explain to you how the aid works. The aid goes to the contractor. The contractors are different companies in America. They have bidding in the White House. Are you listening?
Go ahead. Keep on going.
Okay. So when they do this aid, what they do is, okay, which are the companies that could provide us 50,000 dozen of medication for malaria, AIDS, hepatitis, or all these vaccines, right? So the United States government pays them, and then they ship them to these countries to a third party. So we don't send anything.
So we don't. So we pay them. So what's the difference between what you're saying and what I'm saying?
Because we don't pay them directly. We send them the actual products to them because they don't have it. Now,
okay. So what? Like, it doesn't make a difference. Either we give money, we send products. At the end of the day, we're spending our taxpayer money on it. So that's just arguing semantics. It don't even really matter. At the end of the day, we still have spent the money some way. We still spent it. So so why does it matter?
Well, we spend it because both Democrats and Republicans agree with it. It's not just Democrats. This is just dumb. Both of them agree, and both of them have lobbies for these companies. That happens all the time.
Okay, so do you think that Republicans were the ones who agreed to send money to Colombia for a transgender opera?
This is a lie. Do you believe this? This is all lies.
I mean, but how do you know it's a lie? Where's your evidence of what's being spent and what's not being spent?
Because we don't. I just told you we don't send cash.
I didn't say cash, sir. No. You listen. I never said cash. You said cash. I said we're paying for it. You said we pay for it.
This is a lie.
Look, wait. So your argument, your argument, sir, quiet. Your argument is that we don't send cash if we do pay for it. Is that your argument tonight?
I'm talking to this. Oh, go ahead.
No. I'm asking you a question. The question is your argument that we pay for it but we don't send cash? Is that your argument?
Your arguments don't make sense.
It's a yes or no question. Yes, answer the question. Is your argument that we pay for things but we don't send cash?
So
yes or no question. Answer the question. Answer the question.
Listen.
Answer the question.
Listen.
Answer the question.
Use logic.
Answer the question, sir. Answer the question. If you can't answer, then I know that that's your argument. So a non-answer is an answer.
So let's.
So the answer is correct. So your argument tonight is that we may pay for things, but we don't send money. Okay. Now that we get that established, go ahead.
So listen to logic. We send a plane with doctors to Colombia to to have transvestite operations in men? That's what you're saying? You think we're gonna do that?
No. Do you know what an opera? Sir, no. Do you know what an opera is,
dude.
Sir?
So
I
stupid,
did not say operation. I said opera. Do you know what that is?
We don't say,
sir. Do you know what an opera is?
Anything like that. They were talking about that we do diversity training in Africa. We don't.
Sir. Do you know what an opera is?
We don't know.
You don't know what an opera is. That's why you said operation. You thought I said operation. You don't know what it is. Brush up on your English. Brush up on your English. How about that?
Don't do anything like that. We don't.
So what? So what do we do? What do we do?
You know how we,
sir. What do we do?
We need. You know how we help those people?
How do we help?
You know how we help Colombia? With boats, helicopters, and equipment to stop the drugs. That's how we help Colombia.
Okay, so
things that were used already here. The things that were being used here.
So what's your sir? No. What's your source for all this information you're giving me? What's your source?
Because that's what we do. That's
what's your source? What's your source?
Go to the White House. Go to the.
What's your source? What's your source?
Go to the website.
What website?
What website?
What website?
Go to the website.
What website?
Go to the website.
What website?
To the USAID.gov website. That's what we do.
Okay,
we don't say in cash. Why are you?
Nobody said that. Look, you're that's called a straw man. When you make up an argument that nobody said and you try to defeat it, that's called a straw man. I never said nothing about cash. You're the only one saying something about cash. Nobody said anything about cash at all. You said that.
And then the Trump administration said that the Biden administration sent $40 million in condoms to Hamas. It was a lie. All these things are being lied, debunked. So I don't believe nothing what they say.
So look. If we don't send anything, if we don't send any cash, if we don't send any materials, if we don't do anything, if we don't spend this money at all, then it shouldn't matter. We should just be. It shouldn't be a big thing. They shouldn't be freaking out about U.S. aid closing because we don't send any money.
No, but I don't have any problem closing. They want to close it, they could close it.
Okay, so what's the problem? So we on the same page. So if you say they should close, I say the same thing. Why are you calling me arguing?
We're doing diversity training in South Africa. Are you stupid? We pay money to do diversity training. You must be the stupidest person to believe that it's a lie.
Okay, so look, if it's a lie, then there shouldn't be no problem closing it because they don't do anything, apparently.
Well, but that might affect the real things that they needed. They might say, oh, we're gonna close everything. There might be medication for HIV and AIDS for people that really need it, and then we shut it down.
So wait a minute. So excuse me. So you believe some things you think make sense, but things you think don't make sense, you don't believe it with no evidence to back up your disbelief. Okay.
Anthony, you do a little bit of thinking.
All right.
For Christ's sake.
So look, you believe what you want to believe. That's fine. I understand. People are like that. You know, you hear one thing to you, I don't believe that, but I believe that. Where's your evidence? I don't have any. Where's the source? I don't have any. Okay.
My source doesn't make sense.
All right, that's your source.
We don't. And also the administration has been lying so much. 2 weeks they've been around and been lying so much. They went to Panama and they say that the American ship will go through the Panama Canal for free. That Marco Rubio negotiated that. It's not true. Then Marco Rubio said that it was a Chinese ship crossing by, and it was a South Korean ship. Not true. Then he said he went to Colombia and he told the president of Colombia that Trump would have negotiated a deal to get oil, crude oil, to the United States. Not true. Nothing is true.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay, cool.
Nothing so far.
So that's just you calling me talking like that. That's just you calling me saying these things with no evidence to back it up. No news articles. No nothing. You talking about something? Go to the website, and I'm supposed to just find whatever you say. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're just giving me your opinion, and that's it. Everybody entitled to an opinion, but your opinion is not necessarily the truth. But have a good night. That's enough for you tonight. All right. Shout out to him. That's hilarious. That is so funny. So I believe, what I heard was, you know what? I believe whatever I want to believe. If I see something to me, it doesn't make sense, I ain't going to believe it. The same people say something that does make sense to me, I'll believe it. Okay. You know, when I talk about things, when I debunk things, I'll give you the evidence. I'll say, yo, here's the article, here's the sources, and what did I always tell y'all? Don't even believe me. Do your own independent research and figure it out for yourself. I ain't just going to say, oh, that's fake with no evidence to back it up. I can say it's my opinion, but that's all I can say. All right, let's keep on going here. Let's go to 310. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Ron from Georgia. Hi, ABL. How you doing, sir?
Oh, well, about yourself?
Doing excellent today. Man, I tell you, you do debate gymnastics right there, brother. That was a workout. Oh, man. I said, oh, Ivan, he came on through. Okay. Man, we had a wonderful week. Bruh, we had a wonderful week. America is coming up, man. We're finding all the facts. I'm telling you. And the thing about it, if you want to know where the target is, see how they squeal. I'm telling you, Maxine Waters, she's pissed. She's ticked off, so we probably found a spot where she was hiding some of our money. All of them. Chuck Schumer, Cory Booker, the whole cabal. We finding out where they be hiding our money, man. That's our money that they're grifting. I'm telling you, they've been doing it all along. That's how, they can think that the American public is really going for them because of all the money that they have. That's our money that's supporting what they're doing. I'm sick of it. They need to continue to find all the facts. The U.S. Education Department, bye. We don't need it. We do not need it. The people are stupider now than ever before, in our education system. We need to get back to be grassroots education. So I would be even more inclined to have the old schoolhouse, shacks that we used to have back when they were crossing the prairie. They were getting smarter back then than they are today. And at least they know what gender they are and everything. I'm telling you, that's where we need to go, because it seems like the more advanced we get, the more dumber we get. I can't believe the things that people are saying these days, and they're advertising it. They're showing they're stupid and calling us ridiculous. I'm telling you, it just don't make no sense. But as we continue to find the fact, and seeing how the borders are being handled, man, I'm telling you, this is good. This is how government's supposed to work. And it just goes to show you, for the past 4 years, that the government has been sitting on their hands. All they've been doing was collecting our money and putting the money in some Swiss bank account somewhere, with everybody with their Social Security number on it. You know what I'm saying? And this is how, this is why we need to have term limits on all these here idiots out there. We need to have term limits on these here people. Maxine Waters, so she won't continue to give $10 for a turkey, every time we come to vote. And what do people do? They go ahead and vote her right back in again. Ridiculous. We know about her, because like I said, used to live in Cali, and my wife used to be around where they would come in with the buses giving out these turkeys and said, just vote for me, here's a turkey and everything like that. We got to see her at ABC Market right there. Here's a cheap one right there for you. And these people go ahead and vote them right back on in just for a turkey. I'm telling you, people will do anything for a freebie. And this is what they'll go ahead. Like I said, they'll give away their freedom for a minute of comfort. It's ridiculous. But the thing about it is that America is waking up, and I tell you, there's more that. And we see Trump has done more in 2 weeks than Biden and even Obama did in 12 years? My God. These are benefiting for Americans, not the fat grifters that's out there, just like what the man said, the rich men of Richmond, north of Richmond. You know what I'm saying? This is what they're supporting themselves. And it's time out for all that. And I thank God for Trump and what he's trying to do to try to bring back, no taxes for seniors, no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime. Man, this is going to help America. Americans. It's going to help all Americans. And when schools and everything go out and start teaching our children the difference between right and wrong, man, loving their country, respecting their parents, respecting themselves, this is when America is going to be great. And I tell you that we're going to do a lot in 4 years, but we need another 20 more years to really eradicate this filth that's going on in our country. And then America truly would be great. Be right back to where we're supposed to be. You know, a loving, caring country, caring for one another, caring for the world. This is what needed today, my brother. You know, I love you. You know, I love our country and our people. We're going to do it. It's on the road, brother. It's happening. And I love what's happening, man. The more they squeal, like I said, these little tears, hey, man, it's fine as wine. Fine as wine. I love you, brother. I love you. God bless.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
Great call. Fantastic call. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Y'all guys know the drill. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to 859. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yo, ABL, how's it going, buddy? It's a Luciferian Libertarian friend here. I've been listening to the show. I've been chilling out, and I mean, it seems kind of weird that the whole DEI thing. I mean, I do agree with you, and there's some parts of it I don't agree with you on, and there's unlike Ivan, who likes to call you stupid and act like a complete jerk and act disrespectful. I don't know why he calls up for it and says that for it. It seems kind of funny that if I call up and disagree with you, I'm civil.
Right.
Well, I mean, oddly enough, when you brought up the scientist who had Asperger's, the DEI thing does kind of protect on mental illnesses and stuff like that for people who have Asperger's, people who have ADHD. There's other aspects of it and laws. I mean, yeah, I understand state government won't discriminate, but you only can imagine like a business setting or a workplace setting, or I would say also like a living setting. How do you know that I would say somebody who's trying to go for public housing or any kind of housing might discriminate against for their illnesses because they have autism and they be treated like other, or like treated like they're nothing or something like that? Because there's some narrow-minded people out there, and not saying all, but there is some narrow-minded people there who think the worst of the worst because they're just under a label. And that's not always the case, because there's a variation and people are different by different diagnosis also, because that's very complicated by itself.
So how does DEI come into the equation? Because wouldn't that just be basic discrimination laws that existed before 2021 when DEI came out?
That's true. But at the same time, there's actually more protection under that than certain businesses and certain business government organizations as well. But granted, I agree with you. The whole race inclusion stuff and the multi-gender stuff it's nauseating. Like, nobody can. Why? It makes no sense. Somebody identifying like some made-up gender. There's only two genders. That doesn't make any sense to me. But the other stuff, like the discrimination against people for mental illness, and I agree with you. I mean, there's already laws set up on there. But my question, if they got rid of DEI, what happened if government jobs, if there's going to be a bad impact towards that? Just out of curiosity, do you think that'd be a possibility?
Nah, DEI.
I've read stuff about it.
DEI is more of a corporate policy to bring people in that are minorities. And the minority status has been extended to the LGBT. Minority at one point used to mean black, but it does not mean black anymore. Minority means anyone who's not a straight white male. It's not even about trying to protect people. It's about just trying to bring others in at the expense of others who are more qualified. That's ultimately what it kind of boils down to.
Well, I agree with you. There is aspects of that. I mean, there's also a bit of gray and stuff like that. I mean, nobody wants to be hired just because of, their race, their mental illness, or their sexuality. If I'm going to hire somebody, I don't give a crap what you do, as long as you do your job right.
The problem is that you discriminate against others to bring others in. So let's go to LA, for example. Adam Carolla told this story a long time ago about affirmative action or whatever, but now that kind of thing exists in DEI all over the country. So Adam Carolla's story was, okay, I want to be a firefighter. I'm 19 years old. Since he's white, they say 7 years, come back in 7 years, you'll be able to take your test because you're white. Now, if you are anything other than a straight white male or just a white male, then you're able to get in pretty much right away. Because when he went back in 7 years to fill out the application and try to become a firefighter, it was a black woman right next to him. And he asked her, hey, when did you sign up? When did you try to get the job? She was like, I tried this week to get it. But you, because you're white, you got to wait 7 years. So in order to bring on more blacks and the browns, you got to discriminate against others. And that is the whole thing about DEI. That's why it's racist. That's not anything to do with somebody that's, hold on, I'm gonna land the plane. That's not anything to do with somebody that's disabled or may have some kind of disability that should not be discriminated against. That's two different things.
And I agree with you. There's certain like other state laws, federal laws against that in the first place. And to be perfectly honest with you, it's usually keep that stuff to yourself. But people are nosy. They do find out, and when they do find out, they try to destroy other people's lives, or they treat them like they're dumb, or they treat them like they're crazy. And it's that stigma by itself. It's just hard to navigate in life and stuff like that.
Yeah, but DEI not going to help you with that, though. DEI not going to do anything for you in that part of it. DEI is about bringing on, again, minorities. That's the whole thing. Anybody that's not a straight white male. It's not about trying to protect people that have disabilities at all.
Right. I mean, like I said, I've read something about that. I wasn't 100% sure about that. I mean, usually I listen to a lot of your stuff, and like I said, I've read some stuff about it. I'm not 100% sure. I need to do a little bit more research.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. The whole DEI thing, like, hey, we're just going to hire somebody just because their race. It's like, no, you have to hire somebody because of their qualifications. People are individuals. I hate this whole labelization of somebody. You know, you're Anthony. I'm a LeVere. That's plain day as it is. Who cares about our identities, you know?
Right,
but,
exactly.
Yeah. But, hey, thank you very much for taking my call, ABL. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey, no problem, man. All for the chat. 420. Give me a 420. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, now. All right, shout out to the caller. But, yeah, I understand what you're trying to say, but, nah, DEI don't help you with that. DEI, that came out in 2021 after George Floyd. 301, you don't learn who I'm speaking to.
Hey, what's going on, Anthony? How you doing?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
I'm cool. I called you once before, like a week ago or so, like that, and really a fan of your show. I'm so glad I found it this year. But yeah, you're up there. I just wanted to touch on that DEI thing that they keep talking about. So basically, I'm in Detroit, and I'm a doctor here, and I'm actually from D.C. and Maryland, and I know what DEI actually is. Okay, it's not DEI. I like to change the words and the names of things if it's phony. Basically, is what I'm getting at. So it's not DEI. It's fake DEI. It's discrimination. It's a problem. It's tokenism, and it's coming directly from what we usually call the purple-haired white ladies that have dominated HR for too many decades now, okay? And they're hiring people, and they've been in charge of this crap for I don't know how long now. And the black men ain't getting nothing from it. Mexican men ain't getting nothing from it. Most of these women ain't getting nothing from it because guess what? They're getting fired. So I'm calling it fake DEI. That's what all I really wanted to say.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah, man, fake DEI, because, or you know what, I could put it to him this way. The objective is actually succeeded. The true objective is what they were getting, which is to hire these irregulars rather than competent people under the guise of we're going to help the black community. The lie was we're going to help the blacks. The truth always was we're going to help the irregulars. 707, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, ABL. This is Margie from Northern California. Great show as usual. Hit the like button for this gentleman, please, everybody. got a couple of things to say. One is about that picture that Trump had with all the girls around him as he was signing that gender equality thing for the, the boys and the girls stuff. And I stopped and looked at that beautiful picture. Whoever sets up Trump's images is an artistic genius. But I truly love looking at each of those kids' pictures. I suggest your audience look, if they got the inclination, go check out each of those kids' faces. And each one, some of them you can't tell what's going on with them. Others, they're just, that's diversity. And we need to stop seeing like we can only have one apple, one pear, one whatever. We got to have a fruit salad. There's diversity in each of us. And each of us, we need to value that. And I think that picture, I'm going to see if I can get a good copy of it and put it on my fridge and just kind of take inspiration from it. Those kids have hope. And that's what I think is so lacking in this world. But that's only one thing. The other thing, I thought it was hilarious that nobody saw Kamala Harris at the Lakers game, She is not even a has-was, She never was been, It's, I mean, how many times can a person get dissed and keep coming back? Like, I don't know, you're probably too young, but when I was growing up, they had these little punching clowns that are like big balloons, and they had some sand at the bottom, and you just like smack the junk out of them. And if you kept hitting it, eventually you could get it to the ground, but you had to keep walking up on it. It's like she keeps walking up on it. Stop. Except, sometimes there's too much guilty pleasure, But another thing, though, I think my favorite snake, my governor, Gavin Newsom, man, that dude, he's coming back now, and he's like, I held my own, we talked. And he's running. He's the only thing the Democrats got. Hair gel man, oh my God, where was he when those fires started, with all that hair gel? But, he's setting up like, I took over. Yeah, I had things to learn, and I'm a better person for it now. And, I worked across the aisle. Oh, man, he just saw the writing on the wall and figured, well, I could scribble some of my own narrative into it. But he never fails to astound me. The resilience, it's like people say cockroaches, going to be here. Well, they're going to be his constituents. So anyway, I don't have anything else to say except happy Valentine's to you and all your listeners. It's coming up, and it'll be a done deal by the time the next next Saturday show comes on.
Right on. So, happy early Valentine's Day, and thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. Take care, sir.
All right. Yeah, Valentine's Day was next Friday. So yeah, shout out to you guys. If you gotta go to the store, you gotta go to 1-800-Flowers. Get to your old lady some flowers. Yeah, make sure you got that. You don't want to get caught out here lacking in these streets, as the cool kids say. Be prepared. All right, we're way past. I didn't even realize it was that late. I'm gonna take a few more calls. Then I'll wrap it on up, put the bow on top. 419, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, this is Jesse Mendez, also known as Tweedle Jess online.
All right,
Go
ahead.
Well, last couple of days, something I've been seeing and popped up on my YouTube channels. There's been a couple of things, but the one thing is supposedly Trump has put a time limit on how long you can collect food stamps. What do you think about that?
I don't know anything about it. I've not heard it.
Yeah, it's all over YouTube, or at least on my feed. He's supposed to be putting a 2-year limit when he for food stamps. the 26th, I believe. Where in the meantime, you're supposed to go out and get yourself together.
I mean, hey, it sounds good so far. So I gotta just kind of look at some of the details, but it sounds good so far.
Right? Yeah, I don't know all the details. I've tried to look for it, but there's a lot of like I said, I've been seeing a lot of feed on my YouTube page about it. It's just a lot of people going, yeah, and some people crying, and some people bragging. I guess if you were to look at those kind of YouTube channels where they're bragging about being, $3,000 a month, seven babies, 7 baby daddies, and living high on the hog, bragging about the chips and everything, that'd be something you'd have to look into a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta check it out.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You good?
The other thing I heard today, which was kind of scary, you know that there are 6.5 billion Social Security numbers out there for people who are over 112 years old, active numbers.
Well, yeah, there's clearly a problem with fraud going there, ain't it?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know, but the Social Security Administration still has those numbers active and viable. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know about you. That's crazy to me. How did they not clear up that role?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Just something to think about. It just kind of, like I said, kind of blew up today. Last couple of days, I've been seeing a ton of those videos about what they're going to be doing with food stamps. I personally think that's a good idea. It's not supposed to be permanent. I've been on food stamps myself when I was younger, going to school, had kids, but you don't get on there to stay on there. You get on there to help you get off your, help you get going, while you're in school or starting to raise a family. But to live on it I think this girl said she's been on it 15 years, I believe it was. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, and Section 8. That's right. Section 8 also is another thing they're going to be hitting. You've only got a couple years to get on your feet and get out. I think it's good myself.
Hey, I got to check it out. But thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Sure enough. I know I've kept you longer than you usually stay.
It's all good, man. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
All right. Later.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. All right. I got a little bit of time. I'm going to try to get like 1 or 2 more calls. Then I got to wrap it on up because it's past my bedtime. Anonymous caller, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
A guy that calls in all the time.
Okay.
How you doing?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
All right. Oh, shoot, I'm next to the speaker. Anyway, I'm going to improvise. So, all this stuff with this, you guys call it DEI. Remember it was called, like, when I was younger, equal opportunity. And because I'm an idealist and I hate injustice the way Jesus hates injustice, I thought being an idealist, they're going to help people who, like, it sounded like they had good intentions. But, when they present before you, a beautiful, like, okay, in the days of Hitler, I'm not saying I'm against or with or whatever, just hear me out, please. In the days of Hitler, my history teacher, she said they would say to the people, help the elderly, the fatherless, the children, the elderly, go make toys for the kids and babies and the orphans in the hospitals. So it sounded like a great thing. But once they get people on board with our good intentions, then the movement gets hijacked and turned into something completely other than what we were used to bring into existence. So when I see some of the worst of the worst, I honestly, I see that, like, I'll give you an example. I was at the skating ring last year, this time last year, yeah. And I asked this girl, where do we rent to skate? And she said, okay, so you better talk fast. And she said, skating? What's a skating? I don't know skating. A newcomer. You teaching me. And I was so mad because people born and raised there, people born and raised here, they need a job. Don't North Americans need a job? The answer is yes. But because of this devil, who knows, EI, whatever that is, people are being hired because they're stupid, dumb, and ugly. And I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired. And it's racism. Like, it's just, you got to be like, if you can't pronounce your name, if you don't speak English, that's who they get extra money for. From who? Your tax-paying dollars, not the government, although people mislabel it as getting money from the government, but the government's getting their money from you. So you're paying money. Your mom and dad worked their whole life in the country so that some last ravel off the banana boat can come here and say, me don't know what skate is. You teach me. I'm supposed to teach her? And she doesn't know what she's doing, but she has a job in my city, in my country? Looking at me like we don't belong here and doesn't even know what a skate is and where I can get the rental skates at the skating rink. Now that is a complete failure. There are people born and raised here who've been through hell. And we're the ones that paved the way and put our on the line to try and fight for freedoms and liberties. And when someone comes here last, when everything's been cush and tush and didn't go through anything, but they're getting all the credit, that's like you having a brick drop on your foot from the penthouse, and then I come running over to someone who came out of the banana boat and go, oh my gosh, here's a Band-Aid for you. Here's free hotel, free movie passes, laptop, iPhone, $80,000. It's like winning a lottery. No wonder they keep on flooding this place and mashing up the place. So it's just very upsetting, you know what I mean? And then Malcolm X's daughter said a black snake will bite you just as bad as a white snake. There's a lot of Uncle Toms that are getting power they're not used to. And I'm nothing short of hearing them go, yes, Miss Daisy, if you don't like Sims, then I don't like Sims either, Miss Daisy. Yes, massa. How high shall I jump, massa? So are they really getting rid of racism? No, they're getting house, as Malcolm X calls it. If you look up on YouTube the definition of house Negro by Malcolm X, you can learn a lot out there. And we're a demographic that loves to learn. That's why we listen to the Anthony Brian Logan live show every Wednesday and Saturday from 8 p.m. to on or about 11:20 in the p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love your show, Anthony.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
God bless.
All right, my fault. Sorry for the impromptu hang up. 215, if you don't know who I'm speaking to.
Oh, ABL, how's it going?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
Oh, I didn't think I was going to. Jesus Christ. I didn't think I was going to get my call in tonight.
It's all good, man. What's happening?
But, well, I wanted to say this, ABL. So, when I find out that Donald Trump is he's going to get involved in the Middle East, at least as far as like try to help fix up Gaza and move all the Palestinians to Egypt and Jordan and force Egypt and Jordan to accept the Palestinians. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have mixed feelings about that because I know America doesn't want everybody getting involved in like foreign conflicts. We should just mind our own business. But at the same time, it's like I feel like it's kind of I think he has good intentions. It's like he has good intentions, but at the same time, see, I have mixed feelings about it, and it's like. He has good intentions, and I respect it. But at the same time, I feel like we should kind of like stay out of it. And then it's like I don't really know how I feel. I'm just curious and waiting to see how this all plays out. If this is gonna end well, what's your thoughts on it?
I mean, really, if they don't do something, you always going to have conflict right there. Always, it's never ever going to stop. So you could do something and try to. I don't know, end the conflict or try to minimize the conflict. My thing is, if what they're trying to talk about now is going to reduce or end the conflict, then I'm for it. If not, then I'm against it. So that'd be kind of where I'm at on it.
Yeah, and I think, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I think, in my opinion, it probably will help end the conflict. And the reason why I say that is because, well, Gaza is being ruled by a terrorist group, Hamas. And it's just now that most of the buildings are destroyed and most of the Palestinians are going to get moved to Egypt and Jordan, Hamas, they're not going to have any power and control in Egypt and Jordan. Most of their power is Gaza and the West Bank. So once most of the Palestinians get moved to them areas, and I mean, Gaza is just unlivable because it's like there's really nowhere to go back to. All the buildings are damn near destroyed. It's a wasteland. So And I heard they're going to get some kind of, and I listened to a few Jewish channels, and they said they're going to get some kind of compensations to help them like buy houses and homes and all that stuff to help them live normal lives in Egypt and Jordan. That's what I heard, but I got to look deeper into that. But yeah, it'd probably be a good thing because for the Palestinians to be moved to Egypt and Jordan, because honestly, you've probably seen the pictures of Gaza, how it looks. There's nothing to go back to.
Yeah, it's pretty much it's rubble. It's like they took a big wrecking ball through the whole thing. It's really a shame.
Yeah, and that's how destructive war is. And that's a prime example why most countries try to avoid war.
Right.
Because of how destructive it is, and it costs, and it's real costly too, like human lives. It can mess up an economy.
Exactly. Right on.
And one more thing I wanted to talk about. Did you see when Al Sharpton, he went to Costco? I'm pretty sure you saw that already. He went to Costco and he was, they said that everybody went into Costco and nobody shopped there. Did you hear about that?
So what do you mean? It didn't buy anything?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Most of the people that went into Costco, when they went to go shop at Costco, I heard that nobody bought anything inside Costco. Like nobody shopped in there. All the protesters that went inside Costco to protest and said they were going to shop at Costco. I heard some of them still even shop at Target. Most black people still shopping at Target, Walmart, most of the places that got rid of all the DEI. And I also found out that the DEI not only did not benefit most black people, I heard it started under Obama's administration.
Well, DEI started like George Floyd. So that was like 2021. But the thing is, I mean, people talk online, oh, we're going to boycott, we're not going. It's BS, man. Like most people don't even know nothing about politics. They don't even know what's going on. The average person, the average normie walking around, ask them who's the vice president, they're not going to know. Most people don't know what's going on. So that was all just BS from the beginning. Al Sharpton ain't nothing but a 1,000-year-old grifter who I'm tired of seeing, to be totally honest. I mean, when he stops appearing on television, it'd be a happy day. So all of that was just performative for himself to raise some money for his organization he has.
All right, gotcha. That makes sense. And one more thing before you hang up. Like a lot of black-owned businesses, like people were saying, a lot of black-owned businesses who have their products inside of Target and Walmart, they were like, listen, if we pull our products out of Walmart and Target, we're going to lose lots of money. Target's still going to be there. Walmart's still going to be there. They're still going to get money. We're the ones that's going to be losing out on money. And they said most of y'all black people don't even support our businesses anyway if we had a black-owned business inside the black community by ourselves. So the fact that we got this partnership with Target and Walmart, we making it big. We making big money right now.
Yeah, but see, people don't understand. It's like, if black people want to boycott Target, and all you're going to end up doing is hurting yourself if you're a black person, because Target don't really care if you boycott, because your money will not be the difference maker in whether they succeed or fail, number one. Number two, if black people are going to Target and they're buying the black products, who's going to be the majority of people buying it? If it's us buying it and then we stop going there to buy the products, all you're going to do is hurt the black people that have their products in Target. So you're only hurting yourself. Target is not going to be hurt. You're hurting your own self. So it doesn't make any sense. If you want black people to support black people and you want to continue to build wealth, you refusing to buy your own products because of a lie that you were told by somebody is just completely retarded.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And it's just, I'm just like, I don't listen to mainstream news. It's just too much misinformation. You're just better off just reading stuff and looking at independent sources. I'm done with the mainstream. I've been done with the mainstream news for years. Especially, I'm like you. I'm done. I'm kind of done with Fox News. I listen to a story from Fox and look it up for myself through other sources. But yeah, I don't just take what Fox says. I'll just hear a story from them and I'll look deep into it. Right on, man. Absolutely. Thanks for taking my call, ABL. I don't want to hog up your time.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
You have a good one. Have a good night.
Same to you. All righty. That will be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys for being here. If you cannot get on tonight, I'm sorry. Please don't blame me. Blame the white man, because it ain't my fault. But I'll be back live again on, what's the day? Saturday. I'll be back live again on Wednesday, same bat time, same bat place, 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now. It's 11:30 Eastern time, but usually 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the show was over. But shout out to you guys for being here. Really, really appreciate y'all. If you enjoyed the show tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. This is also an audio streaming podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether they be Google Play, Spotify, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description. Or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. Alrighty, I got one more super chat here. Then I wrap it on up, put the bowl clean on top. But again, thank you guys for watching, retweeting, super chat. And I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check and everything above board. I really appreciate y'all as well. Alrighty. And of course, y'all follow me on my social media platforms. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All those links are going to be on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact us. And also, this is, I have a Rumble channel as well. Shout out to you guys for following me on Rumble. I really, really appreciate it. And also Uncle ABL. We got a lot more topics coming out for Uncle ABL as well. Alrighty. All my links, everything will be in the box beneath the video. Alrighty. My last super chat, shout out to the Hemorrhoid Strikes Back, who says, I feel like everyone with cancer just needs to hold on to RFK and Doge start to run through all of our health institutions and give us facts on everything. You know what? That's a good piece of information right there, because a lot of the sicknesses and ailments that we have, once we start to understand the truth about what's going on, health can be impacted, because how much the truth is being withheld from us to keep the monies rolling in for treatments and things of this nature. Okay, so yeah, that's definitely something. RFK, Elon, these guys, they're doing a fantastic job. I love it. Trump 2.0, better than the first. And the first one was great, but now we're even greater because we got experience. We learned a lot from the first time, and then from a little pause in between of that old man and that fake black lady, we learned quite a bit from both times. And we're years later. With age comes wisdom, usually supposed to be. So now we know a lot more than we did from the beginning back in 2015 when he came down the escalator. So I think we're going to do a lot better this term. And again, we did great the first term. But that'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.